Happy Would You Rather Wednesday here on the Glenn Clark radio show at Press Box. KZ back in the chair again. I guess I didn't scare anybody away and they didn't shut us down, so they said, why not do it one more day? Griff here as always. Special guest Carson in the building. Hey, what's going on?
What's going on, man? Good to see you guys. It's been too long.
Yeah.
Carson Weekly's back.
Yes. We got a pretty good jam-packed show today. As we said in the opening, Would You Rather Wednesday. We've done our best. I'm not great at this.
Those up momentarily.
We're going to get those up shortly. We'll share them with you once they are up. We have Gordon McGuinness, our good friend from PFS, joining us. Also our fantasy football expert at PressBox and PressBoxOnline.com. Joe Serpico will join us in the 11 o'clock hour. I don't know if I'm going to ask him more about his thoughts on fantasy football this year, or he's a big Eagles fan, I hear. They suck. What the hell is that?
They're in the playoffs. They're in the dance. So.
They are in the playoffs. Like there are. I listened last night to one of these preview shows. There are actually people that are thinking they are going to lose to Tampa. I mean, Tampa's awful as well. I don't know. I don't know if I can go there, but all the numbers point there. Like they've been awful for a month and a half. I don't know.
Yeah. At this point, I think I would lean Tampa. I think right now I have.
They scored 9 points against the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they did what they had to do. Was kind of what they
did what they had to do.
All they had to do was
the
win.
Panthers. The Panthers are 2-14 coming into the game. In a must-win game, you couldn't even get in the end zone, man. But yet the Eagles are giving up 31 points a game over their last 5, including whatever they gave up last week to the vaulted Giants offense.
They're only 3-point favorites. I just looked.
I mean, they're on the road.
Jeez.
I mean, they're on the road, so that's really like 6-point favorites, right? Because you get 3 for being at home.
Still, wow, they're not even giving him a touchdown.
Well, would you? Do you have any confidence in them?
Against the Buccaneers? Yeah.
You tell me that you have confidence in the Eagles.
I want to know if that guy's back on the Dom guy, the security guy. Because if he's on the sideline, they don't lose. I want to know if they're going to put him back on the sideline. If he's on the sideline, I want.
Put him in a costume. Make him the mascot for the game so he's there.
Yeah, something like that.
That would be fun. This is what we do in Baltimore this week when you have a bye and you've clinched the top seed and you don't have football this week and you don't have practice to discuss. I think today they're back, right? Today's their first. I thought I heard that they were off through Tuesday and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday they would be back on the practice field. So I think they got like an extra day off. Probably do like some walkthroughs and stuff.
Right. They are practicing at about 12:45, I believe.
12:45. So, I mean, there's no game plan. It's not like the normal build-up to a week. Probably just getting their work in. Those that need treatment get in the building, get that done. Those that are working their way back, get a good stretch, get a good, sweat going, see how you came through it, and see what we need to do to get you ready for a game in a week and a half. But do we even know the schedule at all? It's all based on who wins and loses of what the schedule is the following week, right?
Yeah, because they want, I guess depending on who wins that Buccaneers-Eagles game, they don't want that on a prime time, probably. I guess if
the Eagles,
but
Eagles
both of those
win,
teams look terrible.
I know.
We don't want.
I know.
Make that the 1 o'clock game on Sunday or whatever. Or I guess what time are the games now? They're doing 3 and 6 on Sunday, maybe.
I don't know what they are. I know they're 3 and 6 for the AFC and NFC championship games.
Are we gonna be really nervous if the Ravens end up getting the Saturday night, 8 p.m. game again?
No,
like they did in 2019.
No, I'm not. Nothing. I'm not. I'm over it. Look, again, we talked about this yesterday. It's there in the back, the wee far back of my mind again. It's like one of those things. It's the same thing with me. Like one of my complaints about John Harbaugh is that he's only won 2 playoff games in a decade since Super Bowl. Okay, so I'm still nervous when he's coaching games that that matter, and in the playoffs more so. I'm still nervous about that. There are many reasons that everybody's going to look to and say, well, you can't blame him for this loss. You can't blame him for that loss. And Lamar wasn't there. This was there. That's true to a degree. And like I said with Femi yesterday, look, since the Pittsburgh game, I think something changed in the organizational philosophy about how aggressive and how much they're going to follow analytics. And there was a little bit more detail about, the actual score, the actual game, and what was actually going on, and not just what the analytics say at this particular moment, what you should do or not do. And it's with challenges and things like that. So yes, he's gotten better this year, but I still, until they win a playoff game again, I still have that in the back of my mind. It's like, this is a different coach when it comes to playoffs. They've been very successful in the regular season. Hasn't transpired into the playoffs over the last decade. So, yeah, I'm nervous about that, and that's probably where the 2019 thing comes in to play. But different coordinators, different players for the most part. They're the best football team in the NFL by far. I don't like. There's no. I don't think there's any statistic offensively or defensively, and we're going to ask this about with Gordon. Where they're not the best in the NFL. They have the best percentage. Like if you said which team right now has the best chance to reach the Super Bowl or the best chance to win the Super Bowl, I'm pretty sure it's the Ravens across the board than any AFC or NFC team. So they've been really good this year, and they've been really good against the best the NFL has to offer this year. I'm nervously confident a good term. I'm actually
cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic. I'm optimistic. I'm actually very confident. I don't think a team's coming in here, and because they got to come in here, and beating the Ravens at home. I mean, whether they win the Super Bowl versus whatever NFC team, maybe it's going to be the 49ers, maybe it's Dallas. I think those are the two odds-on favorites to make the Super Bowl. I would feel better against Dallas than facing the 49ers a second time. I don't know why that is. I guess because I don't expect Purdy again to turn the ball over 4 times. And there's some, once you see a team the second time, you kind of know what they do. Can you game plan better for it both ways? But I'm just confident that they're at least going to get there. Once you get there, look, you all want them to win, but whether they win or lose, I mean, it whatever. It is what it is at that point. But I would be disappointed this year if they're not in the Super Bowl. That's where I am with them. I'll be disappointed. I'll be get the monkey off the back, win the first playoff game. That's fine, and start. Depending who they play in the AFC Championship, I just think even Buffalo's the team you don't want to play, but they're also the team that, I mean, can Allen take over a game? Yeah, but can he take over a full game? He hasn't proven it this year. He's turned the ball over a lot. Do they scare you offensively outside of Allen? I mean, Diggs is good, but Diggs hasn't been Diggs this year. Run game, I think in the back of your mind, the Ravens have given up some yards on the ground. Even in their wins. Against Miami, what'd they give up, like 150? I mean, they blew Miami out, 150 on the ground still, though.
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in because you're right. I mean, at this point, the expectation should be the Ravens in the Super Bowl just because of the way the AFC looks at this point. As you mentioned, the Bills are winning, are probably the hottest team, but they're not really winning games too convincingly like the Ravens were during their win streak. And, no one knows what the Chiefs are right now. And, outside of those two teams, obviously the other team outside of those two teams is the Browns because of, just that just kind of it's really just random voodoo is the only thing that can kind of derail it feels like that can derail the Ravens right now.
There's been a lot of talk that Joe Flacco has never played better football than he is right now. I've seen that on multiple analysts. I'm like, well, he was historic during a Super Bowl run. I mean, are we just ignoring that again? I mean, he's playing well, but the best football of his life? Come on. He won a Super Bowl. Nobody's done it the way he's done it. He was great. It's perfect. What was it, 11-0? 11 touchdowns, no interceptions through the playoffs?
I believe that is correct, yeah. Pretty good numbers.
Hey, I mean, this is all fine. It'll be interesting to see. I'm looking forward. That's the second game that I'm most looking forward to this weekend. Is the Browns going to the Texans
behind Rams?
Lions. I mean that's just it's too good. It's too good. It's too perfect a storyline. Did you see the comparison? Somebody threw up the comparison since the trade, like they're identical on what their numbers are. Passer rating, number of touchdowns. Like they're almost literally identical since the trade of wins. I think it's like they both have 24 wins. They both have almost identical touchdowns, like 96.3 passer rating. And it was a great trade for both teams. It just sometimes you just need a different look. And they're very similar quarterbacks. I mean, very similar. Like don't like to be hit. If you protect them, are there two that are better? If you protect them, I mean they can both sling the ball.
I guess it's we've never seen Jared Goff. I guess. Well, I guess he did win. I mean, he took the Rams to a Super Bowl. But he clearly.
Well, yeah. I mean,
was not ready for.
He got him there though.
He scored 3 points.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's happened to lots of people. Let's not just say he wasn't ready. I mean, he was ready enough to get him to the Super Bowl. I mean, Jim Kelly ready to go to the Super Bowl? I mean, I just don't. You get there, you got there. You can't dismiss that you got there. Like the Buffalo Bills, if they win one of those Super Bowls, like we're talking about them like one of the great, juggernauts in the history of the NFL. Same thing with the Vikings way back when. You can't discredit that they got there. Yeah, it's all funny that they lost constantly and the way they lost. But, I mean, are you going to say that Jim Kelly wasn't ready? I mean, you're talking about a Hall of Fame quarterback who eventually.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I mean, I think I would say Stafford's got an edge.
I guess.
When looking at the quarterback matchup.
I don't know. I
feel like
because of his receivers?
Because of just because of what he's done. I mean, he has won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And the receivers do help. I think he's in the better offense.
I look at the Rams when they played the Ravens and how well I mean, if I'm Detroit, I kind of look at the offensive line game plan that the Ravens put together to neutralize Gordon, and I follow that. I just follow that. I mean, they neutralized him for the game. I mean, you can't stop everything, but they literally neutralized him for the game and said, you're not going to cause chaos and get to our quarterback, and they didn't allow it. So I would follow that guy. I would just put the tape on and say, what did they do? What are you all doing?
I'm trying to set up for our next. Trying to get set up for our next guest. I know we're trying to be professional here.
It's okay. We don't.
Radio.
We're Press Box Radio, Glenn Clark Show, and Glenn's not here. It's KZ's land today. We can tell the people what we're doing. There we go.
I want to make sure you're able to see.
I can see myself on the screen and see Carson there, and
thanks, Carson.
It's a little bit of a miscomm there.
It's all good. It's all good. We let the people inside a little bit.
I guess we didn't talk about the big news from yesterday.
What was the big news?
That Vrabel, as soon as we
went off air
yesterday.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a New England Patriot?
Look, I mean, if you believe the New England papers, it's not a done deal. Is Vrabel? I don't know if he's a good coach. I mean, they're talking like you. any talking head yesterday, once we got off the air, is talking about, like, he's this great coach. 6-18 or something like that the last 2 years.
His players love him, though.
So what?
They love him.
So what?
He took
They've won 6 games in 2 years.
I'm not disputing
He
that,
took a Titans team that no one really, expected to be able to.
Did they win the Super Bowl?
They did not win the Super Bowl. He got the 1 seed.
How'd that work out?
They ended up losing.
Okay. I mean, I don't know if he's a great coach.
New England might need a guy like that, though, for a couple years, because you got to think.
New England needs a quarterback. It doesn't matter who the coach is.
It's good. But if Belichick is out of there, it might really fall apart. They need, if they're going to be bad, they might need to use him as a bridge and just have a coach that at least the players like and keep that locker room somewhat together, because that thing could really get ugly, in my opinion, if Belichick is out of there and there's turnover in the coaching. There's already been so much turnover on the roster. You might need a guy that can hold a locker room together, and he can do that because they had some personalities on some of those Titans teams, and he held it all together. Even though, I'm not disputing that he doesn't win games. I'm not disputing that.
New England's already terrible. Like, they're terrible, and they have no talent.
I agree. I don't think they have any.
So
talent
they need a GM more than they need a coach. I don't care.
I'm not disputing anything.
I don't care. I don't care who the coach is. Belichick could remain the coach as long as there's a new GM. Like, his vision from 20 years ago doesn't work anymore. You're not getting lucky again, and falling into Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I mean, again, I think Belichick is a fabulous coach, but they in the 6th round. I mean, it's sort of like, we'll see how this Brock Purdy works out. But if Brock Purdy is just another 6th round guy, the 49ers aren't any good this year because they don't have a quarterback. Sam Darnold stinks. Like, that was their move. And then they said, okay, well, this Purdy kid is going to be it. We're going to get rid of the guy that we traded our entire draft for in Trey Lance. But, Brady made that organization. And since Brady's been gone, what's Belichick done? And do not email me. You can't tweet me anymore because I don't respond and I don't look at it anymore. So, about how great Belichick's the greatest coach in NFL history. Okay, there. But you need players to do it, and he fell into the greatest quarterback.
He is not. When we talk about Bill as the coach and GM, he is not.
The GM part's been awful
since
for
Brady.
During Brady. Because Brady solved a lot of things that you didn't have to. You could trade away all. You never had to take picks. Like, they seem like they never want to take people, and then. Like, this past year, like the last 2 years, they took guys in the 1st round that
had third
the Strange.
Yeah,
Strange was a second, max late second kid. I liked him, but not in the 1st round. So he kind of they've traded away a lot of picks. Like, this year, you need to stay where you are and take the best quarterback available. Mac Jones, it just hasn't worked. Did I see he made the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, but Tyler Huntley made the Pro Bowl. He deserved it. Tyler Huntley deserved it.
How are these guys making the Pro Bowl?
Well, it doesn't,
No, I'm serious. I don't know how it works anymore. Nobody's voting for them, right?
I think, it's because guys opt out, and the next guy on the list is
How many
Mac
guys
Jones.
had to? I'm serious, and I meant it. No, dude.
Was that his rookie year?
No disrespect.
They made the playoffs
to
that
Huntley.
year.
No disrespect to Huntley. Okay, but
Sounds
how
like
many
disrespect
people
to
have to
Huntley.
opt out till you get to the backup quarterback making Pro Bowls? Mac Jones was the backup quarterback for at least 8 weeks this year, right?
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones.
Are we talking about the year he made the Pro Bowl?
Didn't he make the Pro Bowl this year?
This year, no.
Somebody said that. Somebody said
no.
Surely
no.
not.
No,
I saw.
There's no way.
I was like, after last year. I'm sorry.
Once we get to the week of,
no
and
disrespect.
everyone opting out.
No disrespect, but after Huntley made last year, I don't know how it works.
I guess because the Ravens made the playoffs and he was the quarterback of a playoff led. I forget how it works too.
I forget how it works.
I think there's some sort of voting We can go on to our next segment here.
Do we have our guest?
Yes, we do.
We do. I didn't even see you make a phone call. Jeez. Oh, that's right. It's
Yes.
it's the whole magic of
Yes,
this
of Zoom.
of Zoom. So we have our next guest from PFF, Gordon McGuinness. How you doing, Gordon?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, pleasure as always. So, I saw something where you wrote something that you're not supposed to write in Baltimore. That the Ravens are the favorite to make the Super Bowl. Is that true?
It is by projections and numbers. I don't think it's as simple as it seems being the favorites. It's going to be very difficult, but by the numbers right now, I think they are.
So if they're the favorites, and I agree with you. I mean, on paper, I don't go by the numbers or things like that. I just go by the record, who they beat. They beat all the other top teams. They look like the favorites, not only to make the Super Bowl, probably to win the Super Bowl. But who should the Ravens fans, by the numbers, be most scared to face during the AFC playoffs?
I mean, it's obvious now by the record, but it's Buffalo. It felt like Buffalo probably for about 3-4 weeks before now anyway, but now that they are the 2 seed, I think they're the most dangerous team. I think they're probably the team who, on offense, match up best against the Ravens defense because they can run the ball, and they can run the ball both with the running backs, but also Josh Allen at quarterback. And I don't think the Ravens are weak against the run, but I think they're weaker against the run than they are the pass this year.
Totally agree with that. The one thing that has been a constant, I guess, concern on some of our post game shows is how many yards the Ravens have given up on the ground. I mean, even in some of their biggest wins, you look at the Dolphins game, they gave up well over 100 yards on the ground, and nobody cares about it because they won by 30 points. But that has been a concern if you go all the way back to a couple of the Browns games where they had some success against the Ravens. Even the Steelers in their first game had some success. There is this thing in Baltimore, and you can actually feel it when you're here, about the Cleveland Browns coming at some point, led by Joe Flacco, to Baltimore. And the collapse that Baltimore had at home already when they led by 14 points with 10 minutes to go and wound up losing that game to the Cleveland Browns. By the numbers, is that fear legitimate, or is that just us being too much of looking back in nostalgia and looking at what Joe Flacco has done since he came back and just being nervous about that scenario?
I think the nerves are justified because, so it's not just a Flacco thing. Defensively, the Browns are really good. They're going to be in a position whereby they can hold the Ravens to a lower number of points. And I think anyone who is a Ravens fan knows that Joe Flacco, even if the numbers aren't amazing, he can get some stuff done.
If they protect him, they can. I 100% agree with you. Haven't seen a lot of people get him off his spot since he's been back. I'd like to see some team rush him a little bit harder, but that's easier said than done against a good offensive line. Flip it over to the NFC. Obviously, the 49ers are the top seed and have been the best team in the NFC for the majority of the year. Beyond the 49ers, there's a lot of question marks in my mind. Dallas is great as long as they're at home. They haven't been very good on the road this year. The Eagles, I've never in my life seen a collapse of a team like this that, we all thought was the best team in football through 10, 11 weeks. And now I don't know what to make of them. I don't know how they get back to normal. And then you have two teams that I think a lot of people are really high on, but they play each other in the first round of Super Wildcard Weekend in the Rams and the Lions. Outside of the 49ers, what are the numbers telling us about the NFC and somebody that could knock them off?
I think you kind of covered it right there in the sense the numbers back up that the 49ers are the favorites, and anyone else coming out of that conference I think would be a little bit of a surprise. The 49ers kind of remind me of the 2019 Ravens, whereby if they can keep on schedule, they're fine. That Ravens game, they had a couple of turnovers that blew the game out of proportion early in the third quarter. I think Detroit have the pieces to put off enough points, but I really have a tough time seeing anyone coming out of that conference outside of San Francisco.
So right now, I should go place a bet on a 49er Ravens Super Bowl, right?
It is what the numbers say it happens about 1 in 4 times, which makes me a little bit nervous.
Yeah, what if 25% chance on that isn't bad. Throw a couple of pennies on that. I know you already have your bet, Griff, right?
I do have. Yeah, I had my Ravens Super Bowl bet before the season, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm in good. I feel in good shape. Gordon, we were talking about. Obviously, we were talking about the Pro Bowls. We were kind of making fun of the Pro Bowl right before you came on. But Glenn and I last week were looking at kind of the stats and like looking at based on PFF stats. One of the biggest snubs we thought of the Ravens, and obviously the Ravens had a lot of Pro Bowlers, was Kevin Zeitler, and we thought that he had a really really great season. And I just wanted to see if you thought that he was as big of a snub as we did, just kind of based off because what he had 0 or 1 sack allowed, and very few if any pressures allowed, and we thought Zeitler should have been a Pro Bowler and should have been recognized.
Yeah, I think it's a strange position in the NFL right now, where I think there's a decent group of players who are good to very good players, rather than kind of elite players at the position, and I think what probably hurt Zeitler is the start of the year was a little bit rough for him, and then he kind of improved as the year went on. But I think he has reason to feel aggrieved at not making the Pro Bowl, and I think he's probably the best guard to never have made a Pro Bowl. I think I saw someone say he's never made a Pro Bowl, which for the seasons he's had to have never made it is quite incredible.
So, Gordon, you also did another article. You gave away some awards. This week, I believe one of your articles where, and there's no secret to it. I think he's going to be the MVP of the league when the league votes. But Lamar Jackson is going to be the MVP. But I wanted to ask a couple of questions. Offensive Player of the Year. You went with Tyreek Hill over Christian McCaffrey. I'm going to argue that one. I don't think there's a player as dynamic as Christian McCaffrey in the league. Take me through why Tyreek Hill gets that award over McCaffrey.
Yeah, so it was Sam Monson, not me. But
okay.
But I would probably have gone Tyreek Hill as well. I just think he was on a historic pace before the injuries. I don't think you're wrong on the McCaffrey front. He is a true 3-down running back when it doesn't really exist anymore in the NFL. I would just take Tyreek Hill's kind of record-setting ability before he got slowed down by injuries later in the year, and I think he was really in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, I thought he was too until the last 2 weeks of the Lamar show on when you take out the 49ers and you take out the Dolphins the way that the Ravens did and the way he played in those 2 games. I think McCaffrey was right there in that. The other thing that Sam did, and I love when they give the same player multiple awards. I think everybody, you try to give everybody who deserves an award sometimes an award. And Rookie of the Year, I think, is obvious this year. Is C.J. Stroud. It's a quarterback-driven league. He was one of the only 5 rookie quarterbacks to throw for over 4,000 yards in his rookie season. First head coach and rookie quarterback to win their division. Truly, I mean, just set up that franchise for years and years to come. But then Sam also gave him Offensive Rookie of the Year, which he is to a degree. But Puka Nacua, that dude's got to get an award somewhere. He was historic as a rookie. He set records. I know he wasn't C.J. Stroud was top 5 or something like that in the quarterbacks, but Puka's 1. He set the rookie record for catches and yards. Tell Sam I want to recount there.
That's one whereby I think I actually would have preferred to have seen offensive rookie, defensive rookie, and most valuable rookie, and then you go Stroud most
there you
valuable
go.
because
Yeah.
he's a quarterback. That works. But yeah, Puka Nacua, the really interesting thing about him is, we've only just kind of released this now, but before the draft last year, we did some like computer vision athletic testing, and Nacua was like a 99 percentile athlete who fell to the 5th round, but his 40 time wasn't that good. And
right.
the Rams just did a video this week that they released whereby they talked about, oh yeah, he doesn't run fast, but plays fast. So that was interesting.
I loved him before the draft, and it was funny, I work in more of the fantasy world than anything else, and he was a guy I attached myself to very early through the draft process, and then when he ran slow, I said to somebody, I was like, man, he doesn't play like that. I mean, he was great in college, and then he ran slow, but then you look at the athletic profile, and I said something to my son, who, we're doing fantasy drafts. I was telling everybody, I was like, just in the last pick of your draft, pick this kid Puka. I was like, it's a throwaway pick. It doesn't matter. I was like, just take him just in case. And he finally came to me, and my son is now 19 years old. And he finally came and he goes, oh, maybe you're not so stupid and you know something about football. I'm like, thanks, son. But that kid falling, it just shows you, like, you find this one thing. I think he ran like 4.73 in his 40, but everything else was just off the charts. And they got him in L.A. and they loved him from day one. And he's just been it's been crazy. It's been crazy how good he is. And the fact that early on you could say, well, he's not getting the attention because of Kupp, and then when Kupp got hurt and he just exploded like even more, like, oh, he could be a number 1 receiver. It's just crazy the kind of year he has. A lot of times on the defensive side, we don't talk about a lot of guys defensively outside of sacks and interceptions. But to me, Myles Garrett has been just incredible this year, versus the run, versus the pass. I think he's your defensive MVP when it all comes down to it. What do the numbers say about that?
Yeah, so he's winning like over a quarter of his pass rush snaps, which is
insane,
a ridiculously high number. Yeah, he's the only player in football doing it this year. Micah Parsons is second, and he's at about 24 point something. Just a tremendous football player, and had the game against the Colts earlier the year. They don't win without him, I don't think.
Has there been anything, now that we're done the regular season, has there been anything that's really jumped off the page as far as the analytics and your numbers go that really surprised you as you were going through that, player X was better or worse than we thought they were during the season?
I guess less away from the player side of things. I saw something yesterday whereby the Ravens now versus 2019 are actually one of the least aggressive teams in 4th down decision making. I think that's really interesting. Probably an overcorrection, but they were very, very aggressive. Obviously, and even when Lamar Jackson was out injured, very aggressive. It's really interesting to me. Probably speaks to the fact that they're building double-digit leads. And when you build double-digit leads, you don't really need to go for it on 4th down. I'm kind of intrigued to see what happens in the playoffs if they are in close games. Do we start to see them lean on that a bit more?
That will be interesting because I had made the point and that it just seemed on the surface, kind of after they lost to the Steelers this year, that I kind of saw a change in how they were dealing with 4th down decisions, going for it, even to the way they use timeouts and challenges. I thought they were much more conservative and had no idea the numbers played that out. It just seemed like they valued points and knew how good their defense was, that they weren't taking as many risks. And Okay, we got some numbers behind it now, so maybe my eyes don't deceive me. So that's good to know. But it will be interesting to see, what they do in the playoffs if they have that same amount of confidence in closer games, and things like that.
I guess the last kind of Ravens related one I had, Gordon, was about Dalvin Cook. Obviously, kind of really the only unknown that we have left, I guess, with the Ravens offense. Do you think he has, how much do you think he has left, and should we expect to see him at all during this playoff run? Obviously, Melvin Gordon fumbled, which is, I guess, the big knock on Melvin Gordon. He fumbled in when he had his opportunity against the Steelers, and that's gonna weigh heavy in Ravens fans' minds. So do you think we'll see Dalvin Cook during this playoff run?
I think we will. The Melvin Gordon thing, I was convinced after the Keaton Mitchell injury that the Ravens season would end on a Melvin Gordon fumble. So I don't think we see Melvin Gordon carry the ball for the Ravens in the postseason now. I think Dalvin Cook will be that third running back. I don't think he's going to be a star for them. I think he'll be a guy who they'll use a little bit, and he'll do okay and not make mistakes, hopefully.
Wow.
How do the Ravens get beat? Like what is the weakness that the Ravens have right now? I know we mentioned the Bills' run game. That's the primary way that we see the Ravens get knocked out?
I think so, yeah. As long as they stay as healthy as they currently are, which is not, they're not entirely healthy, but they're pretty darn healthy compared with the rest of the NFL. It's just that running game. If they can build leads in games, I don't know that there's a team in the NFL that can really challenge them without getting a couple of things bouncing their way. That 49ers game whereby they got the turnovers that allowed them to really push the game away from the 49ers. The Miami game was just complete domination. If they can build early leads, I think it's going to be really tough for anyone to beat them.
We're speaking with PFF's Gordon McGuinness. Gordon, I have one more question for you, and you may not be prepared for this question at all. Maybe you are. But I just talking about the Ravens, I have not been a big fan. I was never a big fan of drafting Oweh when they did. I thought he was too much of a project. What do the numbers say about Oweh's season this year? Was he effective? Was he better? Because you see from the Ravens that, the numbers that are eye-popping, sacks and things like that, he's still not there. You got Clowney and Van Noy, have really been godsends, and Matabikwe, have been godsends from the pass rush standpoint. But have we seen improvement in Oweh? Because we're getting to the point where we get to start talking about picking up 50-year options and things like that. Is he showing improvement at all?
Yeah, he definitely is. Again, sack numbers weren't there, like you said, but it was a definite improvement from where he's been in the past. It's by far his most effective season in terms of PFF pass rush grade. I've not looked at the numbers in the last couple of weeks, but he was like a top 20 edge rusher in pass rush win rate and pressure rate, things like that. Sack numbers aren't there, but definitely more of a player. I would extend the 50-year option to him. I wouldn't be looking to go and pay a heavy extension at this point in time, but I think you've seen enough to want to at least see him another couple of seasons.
There you go. Gordon McGuinness, PFF.com. Can we plug anything else for you?
No, I think you've already done a nice job plugging some of the stuff I've written, so thank you very much.
No worries. As always, appreciate you joining us here on the Glenn Clark Radio Show, and we'll talk to you real soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
There he goes, Gordon McGuinness. Had to ask the Oweh question. Still not convinced.
I mean, it's hard to be. I mean, when you draft an edge rusher in the first round, I guess you want him to be T.J. Watt, and that was definitely not a fair kind of expectation. But he doesn't play. You still want to see him play like 80% of snaps. He's probably played closer to 50-60% of snaps.
You think it's that high? I don't see him on the field ever.
Yeah, I'm not being. I'm looking at his snap counts now. I need to look at. I don't see them compared with the rest of the game. He's played. How many games has he played this season? Because he missed a couple. 8, 9, 10. He's played 14. He's played 13 games because he only played like a couple snaps on Saturday against Pittsburgh. So he's played 13 games. And the most snaps he had was 49, and that was week 1 against Houston. That was the most snaps that he's played in a game, was 49. Otherwise, he's been hanging around in about the mid-30s.
Yeah,
so, in terms of snap count.
I kind of get the 5th year thing. I don't know what it's going to cost the Ravens to pick up the 5th year option. But if he is improving, you might as well hold on to him, and see if you can get that next level. I mean, I don't know what the future holds for guys like Clowney and Van Noy, and whether they be willing to come back again on a 1-year deal, whether they could go get 2-year deals now, or or bigger deals somewhere else because of how productive they were. Do they give the Ravens the, as we say, the hometown discount because they seemingly love playing for this organization, and it's kind of rejuvenated both players in their careers.
But I also look at it like, look at Justin Houston. After he had, he did slow down significantly more in the second half of last season, but also, he's been nothing this season. So, maybe we really did catch lightning.
Maybe you did
once again with Van Noy and Clowney. So I'm a little hesitant to be so quickly to bring them back. I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against it.
As the Ravens always are, right player, right price type thing.
Yeah. Be more inclined to bring back Clowney because he's younger.
But then you're back to where you are, and I don't want to get too far ahead because there's hopefully a lot of football to be played. But we're going to talk to Joe Serpico. Joe Serpico's already doing mock drafts. We're already looking. This is what we do. Kind of look to the future a little bit. If you don't bring those 2 guys back, we're exactly where we were at the beginning of this season, where you have Owe, you got Ojabo coming back from an injury, and you're hopeful. Love Tyus Bowser. We love Tyus Bowser.
We do.
I don't know where he is. He didn't play this year.
Yeah. And he's going to be, 29 next year?
Yeah. I just, they got a couple of guys that they've had, on the practice squad, and we saw them, time. But from a pass rush standpoint, if you don't bring at least one of those guys back, we're in the same position you are again.
And they've shown now. They can.
They can
kind of. They've done it 2 years now.
But can you do it?
Up a guy,
but that's my fear.
Labor Day weekend.
But that's my fear. It's like, can you always do it? Can you always continue
to
grab these
make
guys?
You feel comfortable.
They did it once, great. They did it twice now. It's like, can we really think it's going to happen 3 years in a row that they do this? I haven't given up on Ojabo. I hope at some point Owe, continues an upward and it transforms into sacks, but that's not who he is. It's not who he was in college, and that was my fear. It's like, it's great. High effort guys are high effort guys, and it's never about effort. It's just like, can you get the quarterback on the ground? And that just hasn't been his forte in college or in the NFL so far. You hope you get something from Bowser next year.
Yeah.
But that, you're talking looking at the Ravens draft, you're going to be picking, 28 to 32. Most likely, in that range. Hope you're not drafted any earlier. Then things really go off the rails.
Yeah.
But you need you need to upgrade your offensive line still. It's been great this year, but you got some guys that are free agents. You got some guys that have been injured and getting a little long in the tooth as far as the age goes.
While we're talking corner depth, obviously, I always feel like you can't have too much corner depth.
You can't, but. You do need corners. You need to get some youth in corners, but the guys that they have really stepped up. Look, I wasn't first to admit that when they drafted Stevens, I was not a fan of it because I didn't know. I thought he was more of a safety at the NFL level, and they didn't need a safety when they drafted him, and I know. At the time, they were like, well, we like him as a corner. And I'm like, well, he didn't really play well as a corner in college. They were right. He's turned into a wonderful player at corner. So you have him. You have some depth there. Did they sign Roxin for 1 or 2 years?
Hopefully 1.
Hopefully. Arthur Millett has played well at spot.
He has played very well.
Marlon, I don't know what we're doing with Marlon. We love Marlon. But the injury bug has creeped up every year. I don't know that you can rely on him for 18 games, so you need some more depth there. It's going to be interesting. Offensively, I don't think outside the offensive line they need much. I'll assume they're bringing Odell back on some sort of multi-year friendly contract.
Yeah.
I mean, you still have Bateman and Zay, and you have Likely and Andrews and Kohler, who I still like. It's going to be a thing. Do we need the break?
We do, yeah. And hopefully, and we'll get off of the future. We gotta listen to what Femi said and try to enjoy the ride.
Oh, I'm enjoying the ride, but when we start to talk, and you enjoy the ride, but you always have to have an eye towards the future. Even if they win the Super Bowl, the day after the Super Bowl, guess what we're talking about?
You're gonna be trying to fire John Harbaugh, aren't you?
No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm. If he wins a playoff game, I've said this. If he wins a playoff game this year, I'm off of it.
All right.
I still think he has his issues. But I have admitted this year I thought there's been improvement. It's the first year since he's been the coach here I thought there's been improvement. Truly. And right now, I would go make a parlay right now, okay? And I would use code GlennClark23 and sign up at superbook.com, and you're going to receive $250 in same-day first bet matches, win or lose. So I would here's what I do. I'm going to give you a player prop later today. You're going to go sign up. You're going to do this player prop. I'm going to give you 2 players, player prop, do a parlay on them. Win or lose, you're going to get this $250. And then I want you to do another parlay where it says the Ravens and the 49ers make it to the Super Bowl. All you got to do is download the superbook.com app, visit, or just go to superbook.com itself. Take advantage of this great offer. We're going to tell you how to do this today. You are listening to Glenn Clark Radio. We will be right back.
Hey, it's Jeremy Kahn. This postseason, bet in person at the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks with locations in Canton and in Towson, and enjoy the best in-class sports wagering experience at their state-of-the-art facilities, bringing an unmatched sports betting thrill.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
There's so much focus on sports betting these days, but I want to talk about an area that nobody wants to gamble on, where you choose to go out and spend your hard-earned dollars to eat. The Costas Inn is no gamble at all. The quality on their menu is outstanding, and the value is off the charts with a great and varied list of specials Monday through Friday. And the staples of the menu, whether it's salads, burgers, fish, they're all fantastic. And I haven't even mentioned the crabs or crab cakes yet. So check out the menu for yourself at CostasInn.com. When choosing a place to dine, never gamble on the food you put in your belly. The Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or call 410-477-1975 for reservations and your steamed crab orders.
6 chicken tenders made from fresh, never frozen Royal Farms world-famous chicken, a family-sized order of Western fries, honey mustard dipping sauce, and a 2-liter bottle of Dr. Pepper. It's Royal Farms' new Tucker's Tenders Meal. It's Justin Tucker's favorite, and at only $19.99, it'll be your favorite meal, too. The new Tucker's Tenders Meal, available only at Royal Farms. Now you can kick back, relax, and eat like a champion. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
What company has the expertise to make your home healthier by purifying your air and killing all viruses, allergens, and bacteria? A.J. Michaels, Heating and Air Conditioning in Baltimore and Annapolis, ajmichaels.com.
Come for a game, stay for everything else. Book an unforgettable fall getaway in Charm City. Enjoy only in Baltimore festivals, mouthwatering eats, and endless entertainment. Treat yourself to a staycation in the heart of downtown, or try one of the city's many charming neighborhood hotels. And don't miss out on packages for free parking, breakfast, and more. Plan your stay at baltimore.org/hotels.
Don't forget about Project Game Day after every Ravens game this season. It's kind of like this show, except Rita's also there, so I actually think it's pretty good. But hey, you're already here now, so why don't you go ahead and keep listening to GCR?
Hey, and we're back. Right now, I want you to make sure you listen. Not this weekend, okay? We're not here this weekend. But after next week's game, Project Game Day, we'll be back after the divisional round playoffs. And after the game, you're going to join Glenn, Rita, Femi, sometimes me. Josh Charles is always there.
Sometimes.
Andrew Stecca. I couldn't make it after the Dolphins game.
Okay.
I'm
That
usually
was
there.
like the only one, wasn't it?
There's a couple. There's a couple this year I missed.
You've been at most of them.
Most of them.
Good attendance.
Most of them. I was at the Miami game with my son. We were driving back. We
Selfish.
were stuck in a parking garage for 45 minutes trying to get out. But the whole crew, we discussed what went down during the game. You can watch us all at facebook.com/PressBoxSports or head over to youtube.com/PressBoxOnline. Project Game Day, as always, is brought to you by A.J. Michaels, the Superbook Sports, and HelpMyGamblingProblem.org. We always have a good time there. So real quick, I kind of told you I was going to give you a parlay, okay? And I think I have one for you. But I'm checked it. Now you're gonna have to help me with the first thing here, okay? Because you know how I'm terrible with names, right? Okay. So Victor,
We betting on guys you don't even know. You don't
Vic,
even know
no,
who
I
they
know
are?
who they are.
Oh, we're talking. Okay, we're going to basketball.
We're good. We do NBA. Okay. Victor
Actually, I want to let you go.
Wembayama.
Sure. Yeah.
What do you mean sure?
Yeah, you got it.
Are you
Wembenyama, yeah.
Okay.
Wemby.
Okay. Over 9.5 rebounds.
Over 9.5 rebounds.
Yes.
For Wemby.
For Wemby. We're gonna do this. Remember what I said yesterday? Whenever the Wizards play, okay, we love the player points opposite the Wizards. Okay. So I just had him. Where'd he go? We're gonna go Aaron Nesmith. Okay.
Okay.
Over 12.5 points.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I see Jalen Smith is on the Pacers as well. Do
He is.
we like picking on? You
No.
don't like Stick Smith in it?
No.
Okay.
That's at plus 230. Okay.
Okay.
We're going to bet that. So you go to superbook.com. You place, all you got to do is place any bet. $5 bet. Okay. Potential to win, 2.5 times your money plus 230. And win or lose, you could win that bet.
Yeah.
Still have all that money, but they're going to give you $250. And then you start to build your parlay where the Ravens, you bet the Ravens and the 49ers to make the Super Bowl. Just make the Super Bowl. They have to win the Super Bowl. Just make the Super Bowl. And see what your odds are there and start to put some money on there. You could do that. All you got to do is download the Superbook app or visit superbook.com. Take advantage of it. It's easy. I just gave you your first winning bet. I'm on a roll. Player props, I'm on a roll. I did three last night, but I did it in that. Remember, I told you about the round robin.
Yes, of course.
So
The beauty of the round robin.
the beauty of the round robin was that I won 2 of the 3. But unlike a regular parlay where that's a loser, the round robin I covered my bet, even won like $1 on it. So it's a good way to do it.
Okay.
Put 3 of them together, do a round robin.
Learning things this week.
Yeah, you gotta learn it. Actually, yes, I've been doing them for a while, and I actually first time I text Jeremy. I said, Jeremy, I have a question for you. I go, you know more about this stuff than I do, but I'm not bad at it. I said, I've been doing these round robins for about 6 months. What's your view on them? I said, I tend to love them because when they hit, they're huge. And if you just miss one, you still make a couple of dollars. He goes, dude, more people need to do them. He goes, I absolutely love them. I was like, good enough for me. I'll do them for the rest of my life. But I just gave you a straight parlay, too. If you want to add a third one to it and do a round robin, choose all combinations. It's easy peasy. You may even get better odds other places. Play, but Superbook.com has that plus 230. So that's a good one.
That is a good one. That's a good one. I like it. I'll probably I will in fact I think I will hit that one.
You're gonna tail that one.
Some Naismith.
Naismith.
Aaron Naismith, of course.
Aaron Naismith.
He's going against the Wizards. It can't
over
lose.
12.5, and Halliburton's out. That's why that's a good.
Okay.
And last night, guess how many points he had last night?
Naismith.
Yeah.
27.
He had 17.
Okay. He'll get
12.
27 tonight. I'm gonna take the alt line.
I only need him to get 13. I could care less how many he gets over 13. But it'd be nice if he got it like in the first half.
It would.
Should be a high-scoring game. Most Wizards games are.
Yeah, not much defense.
So you could post you could pair those two with the over in the game. I don't even know what the line is. What's the line?
I think the Pacers are favored by 8.
No. What's the total?
253.5.
Ooh, that's a big total.
It is.
I'll probably still go there. Wizards don't play a lick of defense.
They don't.
And they still score a little bit.
Kyle Kuzma.
135, 120 gets us there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it would.
Okay.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
We can do that. Should we, do we have the Would You Rathers up?
Yeah, I'm getting the third one up now. We can start on the first two.
I don't see them.
If you go to GlennClark@GlennClarkRadio.com.
Oh.
Or, sorry, not .com, but @GlennClarkRadio on Twitter.
Well, I don't have Twitter.
That's right. Well, what if you just go to Twitter.com?
Do you have
/
Facebook yet?
No, I don't have one. I don't think I have.
Hold on. Let me see.
Yeah, all right, I'll read the first one.
Hold on. No, wait a minute.
We're gonna talk to Joe here in 2 minutes. Do we want to start Would You Rather, or we want to?
No, let's.
Or we'll try to read them out first.
Okay, I'm gonna read them out.
Okay.
I'm gonna read them out. Number 1, Would You Rather? The GCR Sports Genie guarantees the Ravens win the Super Bowl this season, but miss the playoffs the next 2 years. Or the Orioles lose the World Series this season, but are guaranteed to win a World Series 5 years from now. Now, is that assuming you're saying they lose the World Series means they're in the World Series?
Correct.
Okay.
They lose in the World Series this season.
They lose
Devastating.
Devastating. After losing in the first round, Paul from Lando said the Orioles haven't been in.
We'll get the responses later, right?
Well,
we'll read the prompts right now.
Doing one. I was trying to get Paul. So stop yelling at me,
okay,
dude.
Sorry. What's Paul got?
No, I already left it. Would you rather 2? Sadly, the Ravens do not win the Super Bowl. It's going to be sad. But would you rather the Ravens beat the Steelers next week, but go on to lose to Joe Flacco and the Browns in the AFC Championship game and win the Super Bowl, or Browns and win the Super Bowl? So that was confusing. So
should I reword it?
No, we're good.
Too late now.
So what you're basically saying is
the
Ravens lose in the AFC Championship game to the Browns, and the Browns win the Super Bowl led by Joe Flacco. Or the Browns lose this week, and the Ravens go on to lose in the Super Bowl. Ravens lose either way, but where are your heartstrings at? I want to know where the heartstrings are at, because you know my thing at this point. F Joe Flacco.
What?
He's wearing a Browns uniform.
He's Joe Flacco.
I don't care. When he's in the Ring of Honor, when he's the legend of the game, when they bring him back as Lamar's backup next year. No, I'm just kidding. I'm all for it. Like, he's Ring of Honor. We love Joe Flacco in Baltimore. He's playing for the Cleveland Browns. Stop with all this nostalgia about how, isn't it great that Joe Flacco's doing this? Isn't it great Joe Flacco's doing it? I don't care about Joe Flacco right now. I want him to fall flat on his face. I want the Houston Texans to beat the pants off of Joe Flacco and the Cleveland Browns. And you know what? I don't even want him here because it's not even going to be a good game if he's here. They're going to knock him out of the game if he's here. Okay? Because he can't move. We're going to get him off his spot. I'm not scared of him. That's not why I want them to lose. I'm tired of the Baltimore fan. Joe Flacco was a great Baltimore Raven. He's now playing for the Cleveland Browns. Guess who I don't like? The Cleveland Browns. Therefore, I am not liking Joe Flacco right now. Stop with all this nostalgia stuff. Did we get the third one up yet?
Yeah, it should be the most recent one.
Third
I think
one.
I worded it right.
Oh, the third one. You have, would you rather, you have your coffee served to you by Adam, a robot barista. Is that right, barista?
Barista, yes. Yeah.
Every day for the rest of your life, or no AI and robots in your life at all. You can see Adam making it. Now, Adam probably makes it exactly how you want it. And it's probably the same every single time.
But he's learning a lot more about you every time. And he's sharing that with all his robot buddies, too.
So here's the issue. It's always different. Every time I get like if you go to one of these places and you make an order and it's not the one that you always go to, it's always different.
It's like Chipotle. Same thing as Chipotle.
Yeah. I've only
Chipotle's falling off.
I've only found one place that seemingly makes it the same every time because they have a little bit of robotic in them of how they make it. So it's the same every time. But when you go to some of these other coffee places and you order your chai, whatever fancy foo-foo drink, I just get coffee.
We know. You get
I get a green tea lemonade.
It's a little foo-foo, yeah.
Okay, but everyone makes it different. And every person makes it different. So it's not always the same. It's close. So would you rather have Adam make it perfect for you every single time? Or no AI and robots ever? It's going to be interesting. Do we have Joe on?
We do, yeah.
Joe! What's going on, man?
KZ just went on heard you on that rant there, and I think people need to watch Terminator to know no AI is the right answer.
Probably so. I don't know. I kind of like if my building turned into a car or something. I don't know. So what, Joe Serpico here, of course, the fantasy football expert, NFL draft expert at PressBoxOnline.com. Did I just see you did a mock draft already?
Yes, sir. That went up this morning. I got the itch after seeing the end of the college football season, with it being the NFL playoffs. Trying to pump out some content for us at PressBox Online.
So you can go to PressBox Online, check out his mock draft 1.0. I haven't done one yet. I don't know if I'm going to do them this year. We'll see what happens.
You have to.
It's a lot of work, dude.
Mm-hmm.
This was exhausting. This football season was exhausting. There were so many people that were hurt. So now that we're done, look, everybody go play. Don't play anymore. Fantasy football. Go to sportsbook.com and place bets with your money. But now that the season is over, can you give me some of your top takeaways from what would we learn this year in fantasy football that we should take to next year?
I think the biggest thing for me is last year it was Travis Kelce was de facto number one tight end, most likely probably one of your first top 15 picks or something along those lines there. I think going into next year, we've seen Kelce kind of fell off a little bit, and the whole position as a group has kind of stepped up. I think for the first time in a long time, we could say there's somewhere between 8 to 10 reliable options. Some of the guys that kind of broke out this year would be, your Trey McBrides and Evan Ingrams and Jake Ferguson's. Those all became guys that were relevant. And you obviously can't forget the guy who finished as tight end number one, Sam Laporta. And I think that'll be an interesting topic going into next year. Who is going to be tight end one when we get to the draft time? Is it going to be still Kelsey because he's been so dominant, or do we have a new changing of the guard with Laporta at the top? Which, honestly, if you're asking me, looks like for years we were kind of saying that Kelsey. We were waiting for Kelsey to kind of fall off because of age. I think this was the first year we kind of saw it, and then the rookie really stepped up. So I think Laporta is going to be your top guy next year.
Yeah, I first of all, the emergence like we've never seen in the NFL of the rookie tight end this year, because it's always been in fantasy. Stay away from the rookie tight ends. They take too long. The first year of a rookie tight end, they take too long to get going. My goodness. Let's just talk about Laporta and McBride. How many championship teams were they on? Because they were just absolutely fantastic. And then you got guys that like Luke Musgrave, who looked like he was going to be part of that group, who just, unfortunately because of injury, but with Jordan Love there and that connection that they start to come into, I just look at the tight ends, and it's almost for fantasy next year. I've always said if you can't get Kelsey, you wait, but now you really wait. There's going to be a bunch of tight ends that are going to be viable in fantasy drafts, where I think coming into this year, there were like 4 or 5 guys that we had targets on, and then we're like, okay, whatever, I'll throw something late at Evan Ingram, which turned out great this year. I'll take an Njoku late. I think tight end's going to be really deep when we start to look at these rankings next year. So that's a great takeaway. My takeaway is the rookie wide receivers. They were dynamic this year, and we start with Puka, who, my God, it's going to be really interesting to see where he goes next year, because, what did he finish? He finished top 10 overall. He set rookie records. You start to see that he was getting in the end zone more towards the end of the year. Anybody who was lucky enough to either grab him late in drafts or very early in the waiver wire, he took a lot of teams to Super Bowls. But you look at some of the other rookies, the Jordan Addisons, the Zay Flowers, even Jaden Reed. There were some rookie wide receivers that I'm looking at next year could really take another step and be their number ones on their teams. That for me was eye-opening as well, that there are going to be a lot of options at wide receiver outside of the top 3 or 4 that you can get later in drafts going forward.
Oh, I totally agree with that. And then we've got another incoming class that's going to be phenomenal. You probably got 2 that are going to go in the top 10, maybe even 3, with Harrison, Neighbors, and Rome from Washington. So you'd be another 3 guys that could be probably high round picks. Based on what we've seen from rookie receivers, they probably go in your middle, like 5 or 6 rounds there. And I think the thing for me, this was only year 2 where I've tried to go with the 0 running back strategy, and I think that is my strategy moving forward, just based on you can find so many running backs. Like for me this year, Kyron Williams was my fantasy darling. Without that guy, I don't win a fantasy championship. The guy who was on nobody's radar going into the year. And I was able to stack up at receiver. So, there's abundance of receivers that keep coming in the league, and the de-emphasizing of the running back position. Let's face it, if you didn't have, your Christian McCaffreys, your Kyron Williams, Breece Halls, after that, it kind of got dry pretty quickly at the running back position. And a lot of those guys that we saw at the top, your Austin Eckler's really flopped for you this year. So, for me moving forward, receivers is definitely going to be a huge priority. I don't care if I walk out of the first 4 or 5 rounds with all receivers, avoid that running back dead zone, and then do what I did this year. Pick up a Kyron Williams, picked up a Zach Moss that held me over for weeks as well. I had Deonta Foreman carry me for a couple games. So it's just all about, you can find running backs to fill those places, but it's really hard to find receivers unless you find a guy like Puka really late. But for the most part, you're getting your top receivers early on, and then, I can kind of throw darts when it comes to running back position from there.
Yeah, you can, and it's funny because I've always been that guy that loves the running backs early, and this season tested me on that because, Granted, if you had McCaffrey, you were great all year and you probably went really far. But so many of the top guys either underperformed or got hurt during the year. That wide receiver turned out to be the way to go. I was fortunate in some of my drafts to kind of do a combination of both, where I was able to grab a Puka with my last round draft, and I took guys like Jaden Reed and Addison that turned out to be good guys late in drafts, and combine that with some early running backs that, there was enough depth for me that I got away with it where wide receivers carried me. But yeah, running backs are going to be it's going to be really kind of crazy, because outside, and I don't even know Kyron Williams, how that's a for sure thing next year. He was great this year. I mean, he's the waiver wire pickup of the year, in my opinion. Just because I think in some drafts, the later you went, you start to see Puka drafted late. I don't think we saw Kyron Williams drafted anywhere in most fantasy drafts. So he's the waiver wire guy of the year. But running backs for next year, I mean, I don't know what we do with them. Do we go down the well with a Tony Pollard again? Austin Eckler's off my radar. He was awful. He looked like he hit that wall. Chubb coming back from that injury, who knows? I don't know. It's going to be tough near the top once you get into rankings and things like that. We're talking with Joe Serpico. He is our fantasy football and NFL draft expert. But Joe, what the hell, dude? What's going on with the Eagles? They suck. What
this is a rabbit hole you really want to go down now?
Yeah. I mean, this is why I had you on. I mean, this is the best team in football through 10, 11 weeks. And what changed? I mean, I didn't see a major injury. I didn't see, what? You're closer to it than I am. They're terrible on both sides of the ball, dude.
Oh, so I remember having a conversation with my buddies when they first got into that 5-game stretch before we got to this losing stretch. Going into the year, we knew there was going to be a 5-game run where they played the Cowboys. It was the Cowboys, Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, and the Cowboys all in 5 weeks. And I remember telling my buddies, if we go 3-2 during that stretch, I'll be happy. They started the first 3 games going 3-0, and I was like, oh my God, this team is, it's a dynasty team. We're making that run. I don't know what happened either. I think all of Philadelphia is kind of lost as to what's going on there too. Now the defense has been atrocious. They can't make a third down stop to save their lives. I think the only injury that, as an Eagles fan, I know of it, but Nakobe Dean was the middle linebacker, was kind of controlling the middle of the field. He was kind of shutting down some of the tight ends, but ever since then, tight ends have run wild. I've been complaining that the nickel corner for the Eagles right now has just been the biggest liability whatsoever. Darius Slay hasn't been the problem. I know he's been getting a lot of the heat on the internet, but it hasn't been him. Bradbury, yes, has had his goofs and whatnot, but I feel like whoever's been lined up at the slot position has just had a field day against the Eagles. And every third down, whether it's 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 20, it just seems like the opposing team is able to pick up. And the other thing, what we saw last year, is the Eagles were so good at getting home with just their front four. They can't do it this year. There's definitely just a huge lapse in and that's what I think is creating all these problems, obviously, on third down. You can't get to the passer, he adds this at a time, and then these quarterbacks are just dicing us up. And the worst thing is, who is dicing us up? Last week was Tyrod Taylor.
Right.
The week before that, Kyler Murray, and then the week before that, it's, so it's just it's getting hard to watch because they've been the better team, I would say, the past 5 games, but it's just not translating on the field. And now Philly people are saying, well, now the argument is Hurts actually hurt or not? We'll see about that.
His finger's hurt. I
I
assure you, his finger is hurt.
Oh, that was nasty looking, to be honest. I've been there before with one of those, and that's not fun. But it's just kind of hard to watch because I have full aspirations of this year making it back to another Super Bowl. 10 weeks in, I was a surefire thing. Honestly, I was thinking, well, all right, let's just get to this championship game between the Eagles and the 49ers because nobody else is even going to be remotely close. But I hate to say this as a Cowboy or as an Eagles fan, but the Cowboys are got to be in that discussion as well, and even the Lions for a part as well.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking before the show and when we came on the air. I'm seeing talking heads explain to me how Tampa is going to beat the Eagles.
No way.
Tampa stinks.
I don't.
They
stink. I mean, you
but
just had to look at Week 18. You know,
I
they put
know.
9
That's
points
what I
against
said.
The lowly Carolina Panthers. I'm not buying that.
I'm with you, but they just got carved up by the Giants. They ran away from the Cardinals and let them come back into the game. Like if you allow Baker to sit there, they do have some weapons. Like Kate Otten, you talked about perfectly. Like I've been playing in DFS, any tight end who's playing against the Eagles, it's worked out. Kate Otten can play. Mike Williams and Godson can play. Rashid White has been awesome this year coming out of the backfield and catching passes. I don't want to say that they can, but I can make an argument offensively if the Eagles can't get home and they allow Baker time to just throw the ball. This may be a longer day than we think, and I wouldn't have imagined it, but I got to look back at who's carving them up. You said it the right way. They're not getting carved up by the best. They're getting carved up in crazy ways. We had Femi Ayanbadejo, who does a lot of stuff with analytics, and also we just talked to Gordon McGuinness, and I've never seen anything like it. Like at 10-1, and then like you said, to go through their toughest stretch and win 3 of those games, dude. I don't know. I'm gonna say this as you're an Eagles fan. Would it really shock you, like shock among shock, that Tampa beat them?
Unfortunately, if you would have asked me this, let's say 6 weeks ago, I would have said yes, but now the answer is no.
Yeah.
I think, like you mentioned, I think Godwin, that's the one who scares me the most this weekend because he works out of the slot.
Right.
I am just so worried that he's going to be the one that carves us up. Evans, we know what he is, future Hall of Famer. But I kind of like, with Slay and Bradbury being out there. But it's just, like you mentioned, Otten and Godwin are the two that are going to give Eagles fans nightmares come Monday. And I'm not a big fan of that the game's on Monday night. We can also say that.
Yeah. That doesn't help. More time to think about it. We're talking with Joe Serpico from PressBoxOnline.com. If you go right now, PressBoxOnline.com, you will see that he has given the Baltimore Ravens, number one, he's giving them the Super Bowl win, okay, because he has them picking 32nd.
Let's not go that far.
Well, you did.
Let's not go that far.
You just did.
I have it specifically stated in there and what goes by record. But if I have to pick my,
I didn't read that. I didn't read any disclaimers. You got Baltimore picking 32nd. That means they win the Super Bowl, right?
Just drinking the purple Kool-Aid.
We're all in it together.
Okay.
Hey, I might be an Eagles fan, but I will be at that parade just like you guys. Let's put it that way.
But in all seriousness, you have the Ravens taking cornerback Enos Rakestraw Jr. out of the University of Mississippi. So you're going
should be Missouri. I believe.
Missouri. I saw MISS and my brain went Mississippi. Out of Missouri, really good player. Number one. Number two, we were talking a little bit about the future, and Ravens will be picking late in the draft. How late we'll find out in the next couple of weeks. But corner, rush end, and offensive line seem like the 3 areas that we would like to see the Ravens target early in this year's draft. And cornerback, look, they've done it. You love their safety room. Their cornerbacks, they have done it in multiple ways, but Marlin is getting a little bit long in the tooth. Injuries have crept up the last couple of years. I like the pick there if they go corner. I like I said, not going to be upset if one of the tackles drops to them, but I could go for a corner there. So, who's your number one pick in this draft?
I still have it being with the Bears taking Caleb Williams, but I do have it in there that I think I'm one of those that do think the Bears are going to trade back, and I believe that the Patriots are going to be the team that moves up to make that. Now, in an ideal world, it'd be Belichick getting his opportunity to, draft finally get his heir apparent to Tom Brady as this generational talent. But I guess we'll find out in the next couple of days. Belichick is still going to be in New England. But as for now, it's the Bears at the top with Caleb Williams.
So let's play your scenario. Belichick's back, but they bring in a new GM. Caleb or Drake?
I like Caleb Williams. I mean, it is really 1A, 1B. Williams offers a little bit more as a runner, and we have always heard from Bill Belichick in the past how much he's admired like mobile quarterbacks, going back to the days where he was talking about Lamar. I always think that's something he's wanted in his offense. I think that's actually a big reason why Malik Cunningham was on the Patriots. I think, they kind of wanted to see maybe if they can model some of the stuff that the Ravens do and use him as gadget play, and then, maybe potentially build him into being a viable backup or even a potential starter. But I think, with this, let's face it, the Patriots have never drafted this high. It's been forever since Belichick has been there. I think this is an opportunity to again, land a top guy. You turn things around there, and I think it's a little bit premature to say he's on his way out just because he's just a few wins shy of breaking Don Shula's mark. I think he's going to want to do that in New England. So, I think all this talk about him going to San Diego and all these other places, I think it's all, nice chatter for the media, but I personally just can't see it happen. I just don't think it makes any sense for him to just go somewhere and start all over. When if you're going to start all over, just do it in New England where you have, everything at your disposal already.
There he is, Joe Serpico, PressBoxOnline.com. Find his Mock Draft 1.0 up there right now. You can also find all your fantasy football needs and NFL draft needs as we continue along through the playoffs and into the offseason. Joe, thanks as always, my friend, for coming on, and I'm sure Glenn will talk to you next week.
Glenn, and I appreciate him from always having me on. And KZ, I wouldn't be here without you, so I will always thank you for that.
No problem at all. Talk to you soon, my friend.
Take care.
There he goes, Joe Serpico. I liked it, the fact that he has it up there. He has it up there. He has them taking a corner. I like it. So, are we going? Would you like me to take a break?
Yeah, we can take a break here.
But before we do, I want to urge everybody to drink a beer or two.
Ooh,
am I supposed to say it like that?
Yeah.
And we're encouraging drinking. We are.
Well, yeah,
just a beer or two.
This one,
but we're on this one because it's in honor of Tony Siragusa. Starting Monday next week, January 15th, Guilford Hall Brewery is releasing Goose Flights, a delicious lager to support Goose's medical transportation jet company. As many of you know, the Goose Flights Foundation, which is now run by Tony's kids, charitably flies needy patients to emergency treatment. You can buy Goose Flights lager exclusively at Glory Days Grill or Guilford Hall Brewery. $2 of every purchase goes to the cause. Raise a glass to Tony and support this great foundation. Go to PressBoxOnline.com to learn all about it. January 15th.
When it goes live, it'll be available at Guilford Hall Brewery.
Guilford Hall Brewery,
and then
Glory Day Grills.
All the Glory Days grills.
Okay,
yes.
Great. We all love Tony, and this is a great foundation, and we should all support it. So grab a beer or two every day after starting January 15th. Okay, every day.
Every single day.
Every single day, one or two, no more than two. You could buy some to take home.
Yeah,
but drink two while you're there to support this cause. Absolutely. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, I guess we'll get into Would You Rather, some of the responses, and do some other stuff and things, as they say.
Stuff and things.
Okay, you're listening to Glenn Clark Radio.
Why bet with the big boys this football season? Instead, try your hand with the local book, Superbook Sports, this fall. Superbook Sports is the book next door. Just a dedicated team of the best odds makers in Las Vegas, making sure you get the best prices and parlays anywhere. And now, Superbook will give you a bonus of up to $250 when you sign up and wager on the same day and use the promo code GlennClark23, GLENNCLARK23. So bet with the best best and use the promo code GlennClark23 this football season with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
There's so much focus on sports betting these days, but I want to talk about an area that nobody wants to gamble on, where you choose to go out and spend your hard-earned dollars to eat. The Costas Inn is no gamble at all. The quality on their menu is outstanding, and the value is off the charts with a great and varied list of specials Monday through Friday. And the staples of the menu, whether it's salads, burgers, fish, they're all fantastic. And I haven't even mentioned the crabs or crab cakes yet. So check out the menu for yourself at CostasInn.com. When choosing a place to dine, never gamble on the food you put in your belly. The Costas Inn at 4100 North Point Boulevard, or call 410-477-1975 for reservations and your steamed crab orders.
What company has the expertise to make your home healthier by purifying your air and killing all viruses, allergens, and bacteria? A.J. Michaels, Heating and Air Conditioning in Baltimore and Annapolis, ajmichaels.com.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
The latest edition of Pressbox is available now, and it's our very special annual Best Of issue. On the cover, we celebrate Orioles manager Brandon Hyde as our Mo Gabba Sports Person of the Year, and the Orioles as our Team of the Year, with Stan the Fan Charles and Glenn Clark sitting down with Hyde to discuss his role in creating the culture that defined the Orioles' magic season. Also inside, we recognize the top people, performances, and moments of 2023. Pressbox is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores, and you can always find the entire edition, as well as the best daily coverage of the Ravens, Terps, and O's at PressBoxOnline.com.
Hey Ravens fans, looking for the perfect new game day brew? Get a Guilford, Baltimore's finest craft beer during the next home game at the bank. That's not all. Gather your flock next home game and check out Guilford Hall Brewery's brand new bar, the Gilly Nest, located near Section 505. No tickets? No problem. Enjoy all Ravens games all season long at our restaurant and brewery in Station North. Guilford Hall Brewery, European tradition, Baltimore charm.
Sure, Glenn may be in his 40s now, but he looks just as good as he ever has, and he's still as sharp as he ever was. And I say both those things without even a shred of irony. Find out for yourself right now by watching the show at facebook.com/PressBoxSports or youtube.com/PressBoxOnline.
Did you know our annual Best Of issue of Pressbox is available now, celebrating the Orioles as the Team of the Year and manager Brandon Hyde as our Mo Gabba Sports Person of the Year? Inside the issue, we celebrate the top people, performances, and moments of the last 12 months in sports. Pick up the Best Of issue at your neighborhood Royal Farms or any of the 100 of locations around town where you find Pressbox, or read the entire issue over at PressBoxOnline.com. What do we want to get into? You want to read some of the responses from...
Yeah, well, we'll give our answers for Would You Rather, of course.
Sure.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. What was our first one was... what was our first one, Ken?
First one was the GCR Sports Genie guarantees the Ravens win the Super Bowl this year, but miss the playoffs in each of the next 2 years. Or the Orioles lose in the World Series this season, but are guaranteed to win a World Series 5 years from now.
And so we were talking about this a little bit before the show, and I think I have to go with not to spoil Carson's answer, but I think I have to go with taking an Orioles World Series. I mean, it's tough to go against picking the one that you have not seen before. Obviously, we've been fortunate enough that the Ravens have been very good and have won one in the last 12 years here. It would be incredibly disappointing if that means picking the Orioles, the Ravens don't win a Super Bowl this year. That would be very disappointing, but I think it would mean a lot more to me personally to see the Orioles, do something that didn't seem almost possible for much of my lifetime.
Yeah, I'm probably inclined to agree with you. I love the NFL, but I've always been a baseball first guy. Orioles were my first love. And the fact that this team has turned the corner and even viable to get to a World Series now and being talked about in those circles, and then saying within the next 5 years from now they're going to win one with the group that we think is going to be part of the team that they have with so much young talent, I probably lean that way. Ravens getting to a Super Bowl this year would be enough for me. I hate to say it. It'd be disappointing the day of the Super Bowl if they would lose it, but just getting there would be good enough for me, so I lean in that direction.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the World Series too. I just think I'm the same way as you can. Like I love football, but the Orioles have always been, they just captivated me since I was young, and these games this year, watching or being at the game, whatever it was in August and it matters. Like that feeling, to have that feeling back was great, because we hadn't had that in years. And like we've been blessed and spoiled. Like I was born in 2002, and as far back as I can remember, the Ravens have always been good. But I'd definitely take the World Series, because that feeling of those watching important September baseball and stuff it was almost like unfamiliar, because I hadn't felt it since, I guess, 2000. Well, we went 500 in 2017, so I guess really 2016 was like the last time that I was watching a Orioles game in September, and like it meant something
with magnitude. Yeah,
100%.
I guess we made this one too easy. It is a pretty one-sided. Obviously, Ken talked about Paul Lando. He also, of course, would love to see his sons experience an Orioles World Series in his lifetime. So to guarantee 1 in 5 years, no brainer. I've celebrated 2 Super Bowls, so I want to celebrate a World Series. And Andy was born in 1986 and has never seen an Orioles World Series. So
yeah, I mean,
pretty easy.
Yeah,
pretty easy.
I know we all want another Ravens Super Bowl, but I agree with that one statement. I've seen 2 Super Bowl wins.
The next one was the Ravens. We know the Ravens do not win the Super Bowl, so would you rather they do beat the Steelers this week or next week, whatever it is? Yeah, they beat the Steelers, so they get to kind of enact revenge after 2 losses, but then they lose in the AFC Championship game in Baltimore to Joe Flacco and the Browns, and then the Browns go on to win the Super Bowl as well with Joe Flacco. Might never see him in a Ravens jersey again. Or they lose. Or the Browns lose. So Joe Flacco doesn't win a Super Bowl with the Browns, and we don't have to lose to the Browns.
Correct.
But
they
we
lose.
The Ravens lose in the Super Bowl.
Either scenario, the Ravens lose. It's how they lose and where they lose.
Yes. And then
would you rather?
Yeah.
You know the way I'm going on this, because I've said several times, I don't give a rat's about Joe Flacco until he retires. When he retires a Raven, which he will.
He wins the Super Bowl with the Browns.
No.
So you're going with option B.
Option B.
Okay.
Option B.
I think that's probably the correct answer.
Probably.
But it's taken me a lot more to get there, to arrive to, because I mean it would be very I don't know. The Ravens losing the Super Bowl, that would be such a bummer. I like the fact that they're 2-0 in Super Bowls, and we can kind of say that, they don't lose once they get there. So I like that. I also am very worried that, if and when Flacco does go on to win a Super Bowl with the Browns, that it would become Peyton Manning with the Broncos. When we don't see Peyton Manning dressed up in a Colts jersey too often anymore.
He was there for he's there for a ham sandwich.
Flacco would be a Hall of Famer if he does this.
Fine.
I think I'll go with
He's played a half a season.
I think I want to see Flacco. I think I want to see Flacco win a Super Bowl again, even if it's at our expense.
We're going to put you and Paul Valley on a spaceship.
Well, you're telling me the Ravens lose no matter what.
I don't want the Browns. Forget about Flacco.
That's the thing. I don't want
the Browns are winning the Super Bowl. You all are falling in love with this mythical thing.
I see Joe Flacco.
I think I'd rather us lose in the Super Bowl.
I'd rather us lose in the Super Bowl.
Plus, I know we're gonna lose, but in this situation. But yeah, I'd rather it be. Why wouldn't I want it to be in the Super Bowl? We made it close,
The AFC Championship's pretty close too. They lost in the AFC Championship last time.
Yeah, but in my opinion,
they came back the next year and won.
Being there, because the Super Bowl is such a done-up thing now. Like it's played in a vacuum essentially with neutral site. It's
a whole day. It's like a week.
Getting there is such an accomplishment that I'd almost be like the real. I know the Super Bowl's playoff football and it's a very intense game, but the real intense game, in my opinion, is still the conference championship because it's not played in a vacuum. And if you get to the Super Bowl, it's quite an accomplishment. To have made it out of your conference, it's quite an accomplishment. I'd be okay with that. I'd be happy with that season. It would hurt for a day.
Maybe because I saw, the way the last Super Bowl played out, where they had to rally after losing so tragically in the AFC Championship that it kind of willed them on to make sure they were going to win the Super Bowl next year. I can kind of see that, playing out again.
You really
maybe.
do you know how annoying Browns fans are?
No, I'm just gonna block them out. Don't need to listen to it.
We're
You're
like,
not on Twitter.
we're
How
like
do you
6 hours away.
How do you even? You're not on Twitter anymore.
They
How
don't
do you hear
exist
How do you
here.
hear the Browns fans?
They're on other things.
They're on other things.
I'm on
the
other
fantasy
social
chat
media.
boards.
Well, they're on all the chat boards. They're on Threads. I reside at Threads.
All right. Well,
I
then I'll
know
stay
you-
off Threads, and
Yeah.
I'll just keep hitting
By the
mute.
way,
I'll just keep hitting mute on Twitter.
because of this, the funny part is that because of this, I had to go onto Twitter, and because my Twitter is still active, I just don't participate anymore. So I don't go on it unless I do this. So people are complaining about my Oway take. Somebody complained about it. It's like my Oway take's been consistent pre-draft. I've never faltered. So stop it. I'm not a person that says, see, if he has 10 sacks, you don't listen to the show. If he has 10 sacks next year, great. He developed. Griff, correct me if I'm wrong. Did I not say I agreed with Gordon and I would probably pick up his 5th-year option?
You said you wanted to run Oway out of town.
No, I did not.
Yeah, you agreed.
What's the problem? I didn't like him as a draft pick. He hasn't progressed like a top 25 draft guy should at a position that you needed at that time. I wanted another guy. The guy they took in Tampa.
2021 or
I don't know.
Yeah,
all
it
the
was
21.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they took Queen in 2020.
Yeah, I mean,
Who did Tampa take that year?
Joe Tyron, the kid out of Washington, who changed his name after the draft to a hyphenated name. I don't know what the hyphenated name is. And he hasn't, and I'll admit, he hasn't set the world on fire either. I want more. I want it to be at this point where I felt better going into the offseason with Oway being our top rush end if we don't re-sign any of the veterans. And I don't feel better. I feel like I did last year. But the numbers say he's been better, so he's improving. That's great. I would 100% take the 5th-year option. Everybody chill out.
Everyone's coming after you on Threads.
There was a guy that came after me on Twitter because I had to look here. By the way, we've had no responses to Would You Rather 3.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that one's a little off, little out there, I guess.
So
Paul Valley agrees that he would want Flacco to win the Super Bowl.
I know he does.
Paul Novilando does. He agrees with you guys. He would say he'd rather them lose go to the Super Bowl and lose there.
It's not about Flacco. It's about the Browns. Would you? What if Flacco
Paul
did
Valley's
this?
the only one on
What if
my
Flacco
island.
did this for the Steelers?
Then that one will be different.
Why?
Because the Steelers
it's
are
the
worse.
same thing.
I can't stand Steelers.
I can't stand the Browns.
Well, I think it's because going back to the short window of my lifetime.
That's what we grew up hating. Like I
The
hated
Steelers.
Hines Ward, Lawrence Simmons. I hated him.
Yeah,
the Browns were horrible.
The Browns have
when I was
always
growing
been
up.
cute. They've been a little cute.
Yeah, like
but I
10-year-old never got my heart broken
see,
by the Browns.
I kind of get it.
The Steelers.
I kind of get it because I have the same thing about the Bengals. Like I don't really hate the Bengals. The Bengals have sucked my entire lifetime until they.
They didn't.
I
for a
mean,
little
and
bit,
and the problem was with the Bengals is like Boomer Esiason played for him, and we all loved Boomer here. When I used to care about Maryland football and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's like I never really hated the Bengals. I never really hated the Bengals.
But now you ask
But
you
the
ask
Browns,
an 8 or 9-year-old Ravens fan, they might hate the Bengals the most.
they might.
'Cause they
I
probably
know.
do.
Well, I know this is.
They probably hate the Bengals more than they hate the Steelers.
Like most of these questions, I mean, it depends your age. I agree with that. I view the Browns and the Steelers as the same thing. The Browns are just annoying. You stole our team. Get over it. You have a team. We didn't have a team for a long time when ours left. I don't want to hear it. And all you had to do is build a stadium. instead of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and they never would have left. You chose the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. It's on you guys. You voted for it. It was a public vote. I look at the Browns uniforms, and I do not wish them any happiness. I don't care. I don't care.
Well, I'm looking past it as
What if Lamar Jackson ends his career as a Steeler?
that would be a devastating.
Would you root for the Steelers in that situation?
No, I wouldn't.
This is the same thing.
No, it's not. It's the
It
Browns.
is the same.
The Browns.
The
Browns are harmless.
thing. So Lamar Jackson ends his career with the Browns. You're rooting for
I think
the
it would
Browns.
also depend, what the state of the Ravens franchise is.
You guys are killing
The fact that we are, the fact that we're still in very good shape. I think it's a lot easier. If they had run Flacco out of town, the Ravens are. I mean, I'm trying to think of who. They
I
are
would
right now.
rather
The Ravens
have
are
an
the Jets right
NFC.
now.
If the Ravens aren't winning and are not in the Super Bowl, I'd rather an NFC team win
Probably, yeah.
over any of them. If the Houston Texans, I have nothing against the Houston Texans, but if they were the representative, I would root for what outside. I say that, but what if the Eagles made it?
I'd love if we don't. I mean, it's not likely, but if we don't win, I want the Lions to win it.
I'm right there with you.
I think the majority of people probably.
I've been on the Lions too.
I would love the Lions.
I've been on the Lions too.
I'd be like, to be quite honest, like if we faced the Lions in the Super Bowl and we didn't win, it would hurt for like a day or two, but I'd be happy for the.
You'd be like,
I'd be
Lions.
like, you know what? I'm happy for the people of Detroit.
If we lost
They
in the
probably
Super Bowl,
deserve that.
If the Ravens lost in the Super Bowl, I'd be pissed. I wouldn't be happy for whoever they lost to.
I'd be mad at first, but ask me a month
And then also
later,
in this scenario,
I'm probably slightly happy.
it's the role of we lost to the Browns. They went on to win it. It's we would have.
Detroit fans have had nothing. They got a Pistons.
They can continue to have
championship
nothing.
in what 04 or something or
Was it 2? I don't know.
whatever year that
Yeah.
was, the Ben Wallace team. But but besides that, I mean they've had nothing.
The Bad Boy Pistons were fun in the '90s. Those were.
Yeah, but we weren't even alive.
Well,
Imagine one of us. Imagine we lived in
30
Detroit.
was
We'd have
good.
nothing.
Yeah.
We would literally have nothing.
Yeah, it would stink.
Justin Verlander and Miguel Cabrera. That's what we have.
Run them out of town.
And Calvin
Well, I
Johnson.
guess
And Calvin Johnson. Griff, we'd have nothing.
Yeah. Well, I think. Okay. Well, that'll be the next. Would you rather? Would you rather be a Detroit sports fan?
Or like I don't even know what else is comparable.
We'll replace our third one.
So the third one this week. Would you rather have your coffee served to you by Adam, a robot barista, every day for the rest of your life, or no AI and robots in your life at all? This is tough.
None.
None?
I took a philosophy class this semester about technology.
Oh, great.
Scared the living heck out of me.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
being totally serious.
No, I'm
scared the living heck out of me.
Yeah.
It was all about AI and stuff and how robots are like
taking over the world.
Yeah, and becoming self-aware.
Yeah.
Like they know that they are, and like almost to the point where they kind of have feelings now. Some of these AI scared the heck out of me. I would eliminate I would get rid of AI and a lot of computers like that if you gave me the option.
I would embrace it. I'm gonna embrace it. I don't drink coffee, but I get the premise of the question here.
The premise is, I mean, you would.
I want help.
You
with
would
my
get
everyday,
it.
My
There,
everyday activities.
There is something to be said about getting your favorite drink at your favorite location the same way every time and knowing that's how you like it and it's perfect. Because there's no thought process and there's no human intervention that, in my case, a little too much tea versus a little less lemonade just totally changes the whole structure of the drink. A little too much. It does.
No, I understand.
I mean, it does. I mean, if you look,
And you're not thinking about the bigger picture, though.
What
Carson's
I get it, but I'm being very, very selfish.
Materialistic.
I'm being very selfish here.
Like, is your perfect green tea drink worth robots taking over the world?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know either.
I mean,
I'm
I'm
also
on the wrong side of 55. How long do I have to worry about it?
That was my thought process as well. for myself. Like,
yeah.
Even if robots do take over, what it'll be like in 50? It'll still take like 50
I don't
years
know.
for them to completely.
We're in this for the long haul, though.
Yeah.
But you know what, though? I get the argument. Like, you ever had a bad Big Mac? like too much lettuce. Or
I
too
have much,
not
had a bad.
Or
Big
like
Mac.
I don't, you know what I'm
It's been
saying?
a long time.
Or
since
like
I
we were
had
talking
No
about earlier,
pickles.
like
right. They can't have the pickles on it.
or like the pairing Parkway
forgot.
Chick-fil-A to me is like the top tier Chick-fil-A. It's the best Chick-fil-A there is. But there's other Chick-fil-A's where the
They didn't have a milkshake. I don't
not
think
as
they had
good.
milkshakes.
You know?
The other day.
Yeah.
So
I
I
get it.
totally understand her like with your
I
drink,
get
like
it. It's
wanting
like-
it to be the same. I
It's
totally
like
get
it's like you like the drink, you want it the same. Like whoever made mine today was right on target. But tomorrow it would be completely different because a different person is making it. Or I go somewhere else and it's completely different, but it's the same brand. It's a tough question for me. Creature of habit.
So it sounds like you want the robot.
I could deal with the robot.
You also know you won't be around for the robot revolt.
I won't. I won't be around for the robots taking over and the uprising happening. So,
It's a no-brainer.
It's for people like you to deal with and see where you land with all that. And
Yeah, I mean, I think if the robots are smart, they're not going to immediately, try to take over. I think they're going to hang around for a little bit and be helpful and earn our trust. So I think it'll be a while before the robot takeover, the robot and the AI takeover. So that I'm gonna say I'm for this.
okay, very
Does
very.
that also, if we're at AI, does that like take away like GPS and stuff forever? Or?
well, GPS. Do
like
we consider?
self-driving cars.
Yeah, I mean the self-driving cars. Yes.
I mean, I don't know how. Not to go on a tangent, but like I don't think we're very far off from self-driving cars. I don't think.
I don't know.
Good.
I don't know.
Good.
Do you
Can't
guys?
wait.
I don't know
I can't
for
wait.
sure, but I'm pretty
I mean,
positive that like
if I could take a nap while I'm headed to New York, I don't
that's
know.
the thing is imagine saying, all right, like,
Like go to
Ocean City,
Yeah.
and put my seat back.
I mean, it doesn't
Take a
sound
nap,
doesn't
no
sound
complaints from me
doesn't sound
on
awful.
that one.
Doesn't sound awful. I want to get to the flying cars. I was a big fan of the Jetsons growing up. Everything that they've kind of was in the Jetsons. And if you're too young for that, you should go watch the Jetsons. They've been right about everything.
That,
them,
like, model
them
of
and the
future.
Simpsons.
Yeah.
They've been right about everything.
Simpsons.
But I want to get to the flying cars. I think that'd be cool. I don't know.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we're all for it. No, you're on our side now, Carson. You're with the robot.
I'm against it. Still against.
All right. Fine.
By the way, the Toyota Tacoma comes in a range of models and trim lines, so you can choose the perfect Tacoma to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. I bet it'll fly soon. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today. I said soon. I didn't say it flies now. I said soon.
Right.
I assume we need to take another break.
We do. Before we do that, I do want to remind you about what the Green Turtle's doing.
Please.
They now have sports betting, live in-person sports betting
great.
at the Green Turtle. And what they're doing every Thursday at the Green Turtle Sportsbooks in Towson in Canton, they're offering you a free $10 bet on whatever you want. Now that I guess we're into kind of college basketball season. Before it was easy because it was football on Thursday nights. So now we're or you guess you can place your bet for the weekend, whatever you like the most. Whichever game you like the most, or Towson plays tomorrow night, so I think that might be a popular bet. If you're going to the Green Turtle Sportsbook in Towson, I for one will be betting on Towson. Tomorrow as they take on, who do they take on? I think they're playing Campbell or something. That should be a route.
Cedric Mullins.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
mater.
gonna have to go against Cedric for tomorrow. But you want to experience the ultimate destination for game day excitement, great food, and live in-person betting. So go check out the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks in Towson and Canton. Go pick up your free bet, make some money while enjoying some sports and great food tomorrow night at the Green Turtle Sportsbooks.
Sounds good. We'll be back. We'll have stuff and things. Close out tidbit. You got a tidbit?
We'll do tubular.
Tubular.
Wind things down.
Yeah, wind things down. You're listening to Glenn Clark Radio.
Hey Ravens fans, looking for the perfect new game day brew? Get a Guilford, Baltimore's finest craft beer during the next home game at the Bank. That's not all. Gather your flock next home game and check out Guilford Hall Brewery's brand new bar, the Gilly Nest, located near Section 505. No tickets? No problem. Enjoy all Ravens games all season long at our restaurant and brewery in Station North. Guilford Hall Brewery, European tradition, Baltimore charm.
Come for a game, stay for everything else. Book an unforgettable fall getaway in Charm City. Enjoy only in Baltimore festivals, mouthwatering eats, and endless entertainment. Treat yourself to a staycation in the heart of downtown, or try one of the city's many charming neighborhood hotels. And don't miss out on packages for free parking, breakfast, and more. Plan your stay at baltimore.org/hotels.
Why bet with the big boys this football season? Instead, try your hand with the local book, Superbook Sports, this fall. Superbook Sports is the book next door. Just a dedicated team of the best odds makers in Las Vegas, making sure you get the best prices and parlays anywhere. And now, Superbook will give you a bonus of up to $250 when you sign up and wager on the same day and use the promo code GlennClark23, GLENNCLARK23. So bet with the best and use the promo code GlennClark23 this football season with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
6 chicken tenders made from fresh, never frozen Royal Farms world-famous chicken, a family-sized order of Western fries, honey mustard dipping sauce, and a 2-liter bottle of Dr. Pepper. It's Royal Farms' new Tucker's Tenders Meal. It's Justin Tucker's favorite, and at only $19.99, it'll be your favorite meal, too. The new Tucker's Tenders Meal, available only at Royal Farms. Now you can kick back, relax, and eat like a champion. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Jeremy Kahn here. The ultimate sports betting experience in Maryland is at the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbook. Join me at either location in Canton or in Towson and place your bets in person and be a part of the action. It's the best in-class sports wagering experience, complete with the ultimate TV package, ensuring you can catch every game all day, every day. Their state-of-the-art facilities bring Las Vegas energy right here to Maryland just in time for postseason football. So visit the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbook in Canton and Towson and elevate your game day experience and hang out with me to bet, watch, and win at the Turtle.
Make sure you're tuned in every Tuesday for PressBox fantasy football analyst Joe Serpico to get you ready for your Waiver Wire Wednesday, brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel. And if you have other fantasies you want fulfilled, subscribe to Glenn and Jeremy Kahn's OnlyFans page at... Wait, are people supposed to know about that?
I guess they are. I don't know. I mean, they do now. By the way, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but I want you to toast the late Tony Saragusa with Goose Fights Lager from Guilford Hall Brewery and support the Goose Fights Foundation. You can start doing that this weekend at the Guilford Hall Brewery and all Maryland Glory Days Grill locations. You can go to PressBoxOnline.com to learn more. Great-looking can. The foundation transports medical needy patients for emergency treatment. It's run by Tony's kids. $2 from every purchase goes to the foundation. So not only a great cause, but great tasting ale, and you can go pick one up starting as early as this weekend. So please do that. Also, tell us about what Stan's got going on with his show.
Yes, Stan, Ross, and Luke, they got together on Monday, as they always do, even though Stan's feeling a little bit under the weather. But they talked some Orioles, as obviously spring training's right around the corner. They talked about some of the moves that they'd like to see the Orioles do. KZ and I kind of agreed yesterday, starting pitching. Dylan Cease is still out there. Yeah. But Stan, Ross, and Luke, as always, every Monday, they got together, so that you can go check that out right now at the PressBox Online, PressBox Sports YouTube channel under the Videos tab on YouTube right now.
Fantastic. What do you got over there?
Tidbit-wise, so just to prove, to kind of back up me and Carson's point, the Panthers, they became the second team in the Super Bowl era to be shut out in each of their last 2 games of the season. They join the 2008 Cleveland Browns as the only teams in the Super Bowl era to be shut out in the final 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah, they sucked. Okay.
Yeah, they still suck.
I still don't want them to win a Super Bowl.
Well, they're not winning a Super Bowl. Joe Flacco is winning a Super Bowl.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That is how
They'd
it works.
build him a statue. They would build a statue of him.
They would not.
Oh, I don't know. Dude.
Yeah, I think they would. You're right.
Oh my God.
I really think they would.
Great.
6 new NFL playoff teams has now been so 6 teams that didn't make the playoffs last year. It is the 34th straight season where we've had at least 4 teams make the playoffs that missed them the previous season. Can you call out those 6 real quick that made the playoffs this year?
Texans,
Lions, Rams, Dolphins made it last
Dolphins
year.
did make it
They
last
started. Who did they start? They started that. Who did they start last year?
Steelers didn't make it last year, did they?
Correct. Steelers.
And then we got
Packers didn't.
Packers.
Missing one.
Tampa?
Us.
Oh.
No, the Ravens made it. They lost.
Tampa?
Oh, shoot.
Not Tampa. Tampa made it last year. They played on Monday night, too.
So Philadelphia, they made it.
It's the team we've been talking about all show.
Oh, no.
The Browns?
Yeah, the Browns.
Browns didn't make it?
Browns didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Those are your 6 new NFL playoff teams. All right, then finally my trivia. Of course, Puka Nacua set the record for receiving yards and receptions by a rookie. He became the 9th rookie to have 90 receptions. He set the record with 105 receptions in his rookie season. He became the 9th to have 90 catches. Name the other 8 with 90 receptions as a
Jamar
rookie.
Chase.
Jamar Chase is not in. He did not have 90 catches.
Terrell Owens.
He also did not.
Casey, I need your help.
Jamar Chase had 81.
I'm going to say Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson only 88. Bum, just outside of the top.
Really?
Steve Largent.
He had 88. Not Steve Largent.
Rookies. Calvin Johnson.
Not Calvin Johnson.
Jerry Rice.
Not
No.
not Jerry Rice. There's another line on the list though.
Is another Lion on the list?
Yeah.
Torrey Holt.
He wasn't a Lion.
Not Torrey Holtz. He could have been.
Could probably
on
take.
the list, though,
We could
still.
probably take all the Raven rookie wide receivers out of this.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, you can.
Another Lion on the list.
Zay Flowers would would have the most as a Raven though. He had 77
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah. Hope he has about 20.
Herman Moore? Was Herman Moore the Lion?
No, it wasn't Herman Moore.
Dude, I'm striking out. Casey,
I'm terrible
Well,
at this.
they're going to be more modern because
Yeah, there's- I was getting you
they're
throwing the ball.
more passing league.
Julio Jones.
Not Julio.
A.J. Brown.
Not A.J. Brown.
Devontae Adams.
That's a good guess. Not Devontae Adams.
So none of the good wide receivers are on the list. Cooper
Diggs.
Kupp.
Neither Diggs nor Cup.
Oh, my gosh.
They're
Yeah, you
good
guys-
wide receivers now.
Debo.
Who did Puka? Not Debo. Who did Puka just pass?
I have no idea.
He set the okay. So there were 2 guys that on this list that did it in 2021. 2 2021 rookies.
I'm going down teams. Mike Evans.
Not Mike Evans. In 2021?
I don't know.
Or are you just going to guess?
No, I'm just guessing names.
Okay.
I'm guessing good wide
The
receivers.
Lion is
CD.
from
CD
2021.
Lamb.
Not CD Lamb.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra St. Brown had 90 catches in 2021.
Okay.
Good. We got one.
The
We
guy
got
that
one.
Puka passed,
Was.
a rookie in 2021.
God.
When you're young, you have a younger brain than I do.
2021.
I don't think I wanna help you
rookie
guys.
wide receiver.
I've
okay,
always been
alright.
terrible with these.
Not Rager. Couldn't be him.
Ay,
It was not Jalen Rager, correct?
90 catches.
Metcalf.
Not DK.
He doesn't make a lot of catches.
He was a 2019 rookie.
Yeah, he doesn't make a lot. You said it wasn't Chase, so
Olave.
it's probably not Higgins.
Not Olave. Olave's a good guess.
It's probably not Higgins.
Not Higgins. He's an Alabama receiver.
Judy.
Not Judy.
Not Matt
Judy's
Cheatham.
been awful. Let's see.
Devontae Smith.
Not Devontae Smith.
Gotta think of-
2021.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he was on the 2020 Alabama team. I don't even remember who they had. Najee Harris. That was the Najee Harris team where they just handed the ball to him every time.
Odell Beckham.
I'm trying to figure out. I can't. Odell Beckham is on the list.
All right.
Ooh,
Good
I
job.
got one.
All right.
Not the only former Raven on the list.
Not the only former Raven.
Of course, didn't do it with the Ravens, but
Anquan Bolden.
Anquan Bolden,
Nice.
Odell Beckham
Larry
on the list.
Fitzgerald.
Not Larry Fitzgerald.
Figure we got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. I got 2. The rest is up to you.
All right. Let's do Demaryius Thomas.
Ooh, good
Not
guess.
Demaryius Thomas.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Not Emmanuel Sanders. There is a Bronco, a 2008 rookie with the
2008.
Denver Broncos.
I would have thought that was one of the two I just named.
Yeah.
Someone else.
He was really good.
Before those two.
Martavis Bryant.
Not Martavis
Wow.
Bryant.
Antonio Brown.
Not Antonio Brown.
Hines Ward. No.
Not Hines Ward. No Steelers.
Too far back.
Who else? No Steelers. Okay. I'm determined to get Randy Moss.
Not
Ooh.
Randy Moss.
Ooh, really?
Wes Welker.
Not Wes Welker.
No,
Edelman.
He developed.
Not
No,
Edelman.
he developed.
There is a Patriot on the list, but he was a 96 rookie with the New England Patriots.
Troy Brown.
No. You said Troy Brown?
No.
No.
Who am I thinking of? Troy.
You're thinking of
Troy Brown was a Raider. I think,
Terry?
right?
Is that
Terry.
Terry?
Yes.
Glenn?
No.
Terry
That's
Glenn
not
is
who I
the
was thinking of.
oh,
But-
Terry Glenn is the
okay.
answer.
Brandon Marshall.
He had 90. Not
Ooh,
Brandon Marshall.
Good guess.
That's a good guess.
That's
Not
a
Brandon
good
Marshall.
guess. That's a good guess.
Who else?
So we're still missing the one
Miss-
guy
We're still missing. Yeah, we're still missing the
The
guy, the
2021
21
rookie?
Yeah.
from Alabama.
From Alabama. I can't even think about the 20. Or wait, again, yeah. So he would on the COVID Alabama team, but they didn't even make the championship. I don't think, did they?
No,
That was
they
Ohio
didn't.
State championship.
The
Or they
20
were, yeah. Was Clemson Ohio State? Or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So who
Or no, was it
on,
Clemson?
Who was on the 2020 Alabama team? I don't even know.
Well, he was on the 2021 national championship was
Oh, what about Jordy Nelson?
not Jordy
Ooh,
Nelson.
that's a good guess too.
Just gonna keep
What
adding
about
guys.
Oh my
Just
God,
catching a lot of
Andre
passes.
Johnson.
Not Andre Johnson.
Hmm.
So we have one more. We have the 2008 Denver rookie,
Roddy White.
not Roddy White.
Sidney Rice.
We have a 2018 rookie. He was a running back, and he was on this list. 2018.
McCaffrey.
Not McCaffrey.
Dwayne Bowe.
Not Dwayne.
Brian Finneran. Joe Horn.
He was the 4th overall pick in the 2018 draft. He was a running back.
Testing me. Le'Veon Bell is not that answer, but not him. A receiving back. Casey, who are some receiving backs that
Dalvin Cook.
Not Dalvin. Not Dalvin.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Not Zeke. Getting warmer.
Is he a former Raven?
No, he's not a former Raven. He's
Hmm.
been on one team since he was drafted in 2018.
Eckler.
Not Eckler.
One team and he had 90 catches.
As a running back, he had 90 catches.
91, actually.
All right. So
Wow.
Who's at the same running back for all this time? Not Todd Gurley.
Oh, Kamara?
No, not Kamara.
Oh, how is it not him?
There's a Saints wide receiver on this list, though.
Marcus Colston.
Not Marcus Colston.
He was so good.
His rookie year, yeah.
Dever Henderson.
No.
No tight. Are there tight ends on this list or no?
No tight ends.
Okay.
The only non-receiver is this running back.
Oh my God.
He was. I'd give you the team and you'll get it, but
No,
Don't give me the
I
team.
don't want the team.
I don't want the team.
No, I don't want the team.
I don't.
Kareem Hunt.
not Kareem
No.
Hunt. 2008. You're going too far back. 2018.
Saquon?
Yes.
Ah,
Saquon
very
Barkley.
nice. Yeah, he had a big
Saquon
rookie
Barkley.
year.
91 catches with the Giants his rookie year.
So how many do we have left?
We have the 2021 rookie from Alabama.
Who is this?
I don't know.
We have a 2016 Saints wide receiver rookie.
16.
Oh, Brandon Cooks.
No, not Brandon Cooks.
Oh man.
Did we say Joe Horn?
No, you didn't say
Yeah.
Joe.
Well, I thought we did.
No,
I
not
said
Joe Horn.
It's not Joe Horn?
2016 Saints rookie
Yeah.
wide receiver.
Ohio State.
Oh,
Willie Snead.
Thomas.
Not Willie Snead. Yes, Mike
Yeah,
Thomas.
there we go.
Michael Thomas.
All right. All right.
The Broncos 2008 rookie and the Alabama 2021 rookie. And I can't give you the team because I don't give it
McCaffrey.
away. Not McCaffrey.
Alabama 2021. My
Denver.
gosh. Who even has Alabama wide receivers? A lot of teams.
Yeah.
Drafted him in 2021.
Come on, that's your team.
Nah, that ain't my team. That's the team that I watch us lose to every year.
I'm sorry, it's your conference.
That's right.
You should know this. Okay, I've gotten
don't remember.
for me, I've gotten a bunch of these, so I'm out. So tell me who the other two are.
Yeah, I'm
You were giving up
giving
Yeah,
up.
we're giving-
Miami Dolphins wide receiver. 2021 rookie.
Oh, Waddle.
Jalen Waddle. He previously had the record, 104 receptions. Puka broke that this weekend.
Yeah.
With 105.
If it wasn't Hill, that's why I got off of Waddle.
Or who was the Broncos guy?
The Broncos guy, 2008, Eddie Royal.
Ooh.
Oh my God!
Eddie Royal had
I
91.
remember him as a
Never.
bear. I remember him as a bear.
Never would have gotten him.
Never.
91 catches.
We
never.
I'm
year.
being
Royal.
serious,
Royal. I
sat
never.
here.
Yeah.
You could have put a 10-hour clock on us. I would have sat here. I never would have guessed it.
We want to do yards while we're here.
No.
Most receiving yards as a rookie. This one would have Chase Jefferson.
Yeah.
Those guys will be on it.
Yeah.
Randy Moss will be on this one as well. All right, well done, guys. Well done, guys. Good
Not
tidbit.
really.
Good tidbit, I think.
Yeah, it was a
I
good
liked
one.
it. I enjoyed that.
That was a good tidbit.
It was good.
Just the guessing was subpar for sure.
Moving on to Totally Tubular, and Totally Tubular is going to be brought to us by who Ken? That'll be brought to us by the the soon-to-be flying Toyota Tacoma.
Well, actually, it's not only the Toyota Tacoma, but also Goose Fights, which you can pick up this weekend at Guilford Hall Brewery and also all Maryland Glory Days locations. But you can head over to Tacoma, buyatoyota.com for the deals on the Tacomas and from your local Toyota dealer right now. What we got on TV tonight?
Good bit of sports tonight. It is going to, of course, at 7 o'clock. It is the 101, the Orioles documentary that they're going to release on YouTube.
Awesome.
Yes, documenting, I guess, the season.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun to watch.
It will be fun to watch because they do good stuff.
Yeah, the story of the 2023 Baltimore Orioles. Loyola and Navy college hoops in action tonight. Loyola takes on Army at 6. Navy takes on Holy Cross at 7. That's on ESPN Plus. Big Ten Network's going to have Wisconsin, Ohio State at 8:30. Before that, Northwestern, Penn State at 6:30. Purdue lost last night.
No, they didn't lose. They got throttled.
They did get throttled.
But 1 and 2 lost last night because I believe Iowa State beat Houston as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
so 1 and 2
went down. So maybe we just won't see any movement in the top 5.
Well, who's 3?
Who is 3 right now?
I don't know.
Somebody find that out. College basketball rankings. A lot of good. North Carolina plays NC State tonight on ESPN. FS1's got a triple header of Providence St. John's, UConn Xavier, then Washington State USC. What else? Butler Marquette play at 9 on CBS Sports Network. ACC Network's got some ACC games, of course. Louisville, Miami play at 7. Boston College, Syracuse. Carson's Ole Miss will host Florida at 9 o'clock tonight on SEC Network.
We're gonna lose.
They're gonna lose.
Yep, we're gonna lose.
I also like Florida.
We can't. We can play. Actually, one thing I will say is we play really good defense, but we cannot score the ball. Kansas. Is number 3, by the way.
Kansas could be 1 now.
Yeah. I think they play tonight. The Kansas plays at who does Kansas play at? Oh, they must play on like ESPN Plus. Monumental has the Wizards Pacers. Pelicans Warriors on ABC at 8:30. And TNT's got a NHL doubleheader. Wild Stars at 7:30. Golden Knights Avs at 10. TBS for AEW Dynamite. Non-sports wise, Jimmy Kimmel is going to be back with Robert Downey Jr., who got, I think, did he win a Gold Globe?
Yeah, he won a Gold Globe
for supporting actor.
Yeah,
and Oppenheimer. Tina Fey and Lakeith Stanfield will be on Fallon. Curtin and Wyatt Russell will be on Seth Meyers because the finale of the Godzilla TV show on Apple TV Plus, I think, is this week. David Chase will also be on Seth Meyers.
Oh, David Chase.
This one's for Glenn. Netflix Breakpoint Season 2. This is the F1 Drive to Survive tennis show. So the Season 2 of that will be out on Netflix today. Also on Netflix, a new game show. It's called The Trust, a game of greed. And so essentially, so 11 people have to split. They get to split $250,000, but they can evenly split it, or all it takes is one vote. You can vote somebody out, and then you get more money for the rest of you. So
I saw an ad for that.
It looks really dumb, but it also might work. Also, 250,000 split 11.
You got to
ways
get
isn't that
personalities
much.
on there.
Yeah,
You can't have boring people.
No.
If you have boring people on there, it's not going to work. But if you have people with fun and or like bold personalities, that could be very interesting.
It seems like it's going to work. I guess we'll see. I don't know. That's on Netflix.
We'll see.
Those are your highlights.
Also, I thought for Glenn you had to do like AEW Dynamite.
I did, yeah. TBS tonight at sometime.
Yeah.
If you want to watch that, you know what time it is.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. Is that for you? You're gonna watch AEW Dynamite?
I don't, but I just know what time it's on.
I only care about Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I think he's not on.
He's not on. Well,
he's not AEW.
He is AEW.
Oh, he is. Will he be tonight?
No, he won't. He's
Okay.
taking a break.
Okay. Why is he taking a break?
He's been very injured, and he finally lost his title. So
He'll be back, right?
he will. I don't know where he'll be back, but he'll be back.
Before we go, I do want to remind you about the Green Turtle, the live in-person betting now. Towson and Canton get a free $10 bet tomorrow when you go in person for the ultimate and experience the ultimate destination for game day excitement. Great food and live in-person betting.
Isn't
The
our
Green
friend?
Turtle
Isn't our friend
Bet
there?
Park Sportsbooks. Yeah, Jeremy Kahn. I believe he should be.
He's like the.
I'm not sure which location he'll be at, but he'll be there tomorrow night.
Yeah, but he's
you wanna-
like the. I don't
He
know.
is the. I
He's
think he is the Green Turtle
He's
sports
the
betting
sports
guy
betting guy
for Green Turtle.
at the Green Turtle.
Yeah, so $10 free bet. Go there tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night.
Yeah. And don't forget Monday. Go. This weekend.
Yes, this
grab
weekend.
goose flights.
Goose flights. I believe that's everything. Anything we didn't cover today?
I don't know. I don't watch sports. No, Maryland ladies lost again.
Yeah.
At Michigan State.
Maryland basketball as
Maryland
a whole.
basketball as a whole is not doing well so far this year.
Yeah, not ideal.
So it's disappointing so far. No, I think we got it, but I've enjoyed my time here. Apparently, my time is over.
Yeah, Stan has said.
Stan is
fed up
back
with.
and kicking. He's like, Casey sucks at this. I got to get back on here. So you get Stan.
We may
the
check
fan.
in with you tomorrow anyway.
I think don't we do the picks? Yeah,
we'll
you'll
do
let me know
picks.
if we're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
did you get Glenn's picks?
I will get Glenn's picks.
Does he have access wherever he is?
I believe he said he's gonna have some. If not, I guess he'll
So
just have to lose.
Shouldn't he have to take a break and do the picks on Zoom or something?
Oh, we won't have him call in.
Yeah, like
if you're on the boat, I think you have no service though, right?
That's what
I don't know.
He told me
I've never
he
been
would
on a
be-
cruise.
Like he
so I
could
don't
bring
know.
bring
have a
Goofy
cruise
on
either.
with him.
But on land I think you're good.
I don't know. I don't know how it works. I've never been.
I'm
I've never been on
I'm
a boat.
confident I'll be able to
I've been
get
on a
his
cruise
picks
either.
in time.
Yeah.
And if not, we'll go from there. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, big pressure on you.
Yeah. So Stan's back tomorrow. We'll do picks.
Griff has to be perfect the rest of the way.
I do have to be perfect. I really do.
Perfect.
I was horrible at the picks last winter break. Oh my gosh.
I've been horrible all season, Carson. It's been bad.
He's got to go to Creed.
I did some diabolical things on here last
That's right.
in that room.
What'd you?
Yes.
The worst was I ate like I don't remember how many. It was like 6 or 7. It was Oreos, but they were drenched in mayonnaise. Like
I do remember that.
That's
I ate a bunch
that's
of them.
terrible. I gotta drink.
Should we make that this
I
week's
gotta
side bet?
I gotta
Ooh.
drink. I gotta
Ooh.
drink. I gotta drink some mayonnaise eggnog thing.
Ugh, mayonnaise makes me throw up, man.
Well, eggnog does it to me.
That did officially ruin mayo for me. I could always tolerate it, like on like a sandwich, if there was a little bit. I was
So
fine
now
with
you
it.
can't do mayo.
No, I'm being dead serious. Like,
Yeah.
ever since I did that, I can't do mayo anymore. It ruined mayo for me.
That's not a bad thing.
And yeah, I was okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stuff and things.
Stuff
Stan,
and things.
picks,
Stuff and
tomorrow,
things.
Ravens.
Ravens. Super Wild Card weekend. Go pick up goose fights.
Maybe we'll trade for Dylan Cease tonight. and
Yeah.
You guys can have
That would be. Then we'll have.
That would be
plenty to
great.
talk about.
That would be great. I don't think that's happening. You've been listening to Glenn Clark Radio, and we'll be back tomorrow.